Welcome to The Redeemables, the podcast where we take movies that scored less than 50 on Metacritic and we decide whether to redeem them or whether to nail them to the cross. I'm here as always with my cohorts.
Cohorts?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Co-hosts. You said it wrong.
It's another word.
Oh,
it fits.
Right.
Cohorts.
The man who invented the ShamWow, Kenny.
It's true. Hello, everyone.
Yeah, and the man who taught Gordon Ramsay how to swear.
Fucking no, I didn't.
Duff.
Didn't the ShamWow guy get done for some heinous shit?
Oh, probably.
What
Yeah,
kind
he
of
did.
shit?
I never trusted
He
him.
did some heinous shit, I think.
I never trusted him.
Yeah.
My dog's name's Sham.
So thanks for that.
Shammy.
Thanks for that intro.
My dog's Jared from Subway.
Well, no, I think him and the ShamWow guy might have had a few things in
Right.
common. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
I think so. I could be wrong.
We're off to a rough start.
Yeah.
Anyway, so movies.
Film.
We're going to talk about a movie that I chose this time. From 1996, we're doing From Dusk Till Dawn.
Everybody be cool. You be cool. Somewhere in the middle of nowhere,
Low profile. You understand the meaning of the words low profile?
sure, two of America's most dangerous criminals have taken hostages.
What is this? It's called a punch. I'm going to ask you one question, and all I want is a yes or no answer. Do you want to live through this?
Okay, Ramblers, let's get rambling.
One night is all that stands between them and freedom.
This is my kind of place.
But it's going to be one hell of a night.
We might be in trouble. We have a bunch of fucking vampires out there trying to get in here and suck our fucking blood.
Now, their only chance is to fight back.
Yes, please.
Very nice. Very nice.
I think it's a pretty well-known movie, yeah?
Yeah, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's one even the younger people have probably seen it.
I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Yeah, not for me. I don't think so.
I don't know any younger people.
Yeah.
No, I would have thought they would just because it's Tarantino.
I
and
asked my
it's
daughter and she
got a
said
bit of
never
a
heard of it.
It's got a
She's
bit of
5.
a couple more years before she
How
watches
young
it.
are we talking about?
Not big
I
of a
meant
problem.
like 20-year-olds.
Let us know.
Yeah.
If you're falling into the 20 demographic, give us a shout. Let
We
us
have
know.
one listener under 25, I think, according to
We have the stats.
According to the stats.
We've looked
yeah.
at the metrics; they're not great.
Yeah.
So this movie is directed by Robert Rodriguez.
I don't hope it.
Yeah, gave me the ability to roll my R's, show off
It was good.
my
yeah.
R rolling
I
ability.
can't do it.
Yeah, you don't get that much out of me.
Robert Rodriguez. Nah.
No. We should never tried.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was written by Quentin Tarantino.
Very good.
We will obviously have a chat about both those gentlemen. And it stars George Clooney.
Ooh.
Fresh-faced young George Clooney too.
Yeah.
Yeah, relatively,
Looks
I guess.
good,
Yeah.
yeah.
He always looks good.
Yeah,
Good neck tat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good neck tat.
I want to talk about that later.
Yeah. I'm very keen to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
It also stars Quentin Tarantino, Harvey Keitel, and Juliet Lewis. In smaller roles, it's
Not going to... Oh, sorry.
No,
Go
go
on.
on.
You're about to mention him, I think.
just in smaller roles. I'm going to say Salma Hayek,
Yeah.
Danny Trejo,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cheech Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who am I missing?
The young Chinese boy.
Oh, the
Scott. I don't know his real name.
I think his name's Edward Liu.
Edward
Yeah,
Liu,
and it
yeah,
was
yeah.
his film debut. So
Eddie Liu.
there wasn't a whole lot to talk about with him.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so sorry, buddy.
It's good on the
Will he
guitar.
Make another movie after this?
I didn't look it up.
I wouldn't have thought so.
No.
He wasn't great.
He wasn't good.
No.
No, he wasn't. No, and when you start off with Clooney, Tarantino, Keitel, and Lewis, there's only so much bandwidth to squeeze in anyone else. You know what I mean? So yeah, no, be more interesting, and we'll talk about it in our podcast. But if not, we don't even know your name. Wow, sorry, buddy. I feel really bad for that guy now.
Yeah. No, you knew it at the end.
I made it up.
Oh,
completely.
shit.
You made up Lou.
It's something Lou. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Oh, it's
something
Lucy
yeah,
Lou.
Yeah.
No, that's his mum.
So
God.
budget-wise,
Yep.
96.
It cost 96 to make.
No, so we're talking 1996. Sorry.
A year.
Yeah, no, I can see.
Slow
why.
down.
I
Calm
panicked.
No,
down.
that one's on me.
Calm
That was
down. Okay.
not well put.
Yep.
It was made in 1996. It had behind it Tarantino and Rodriguez, who may not have a sway. So do you reckon they got a decent amount of money given to them by the studios for this?
You would have thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
12?
It's after Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's
this
like,
is post Pulp Fiction.
Have the lot.
Yeah. 19 million.
Is that all?
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm. I think, yeah,
It may just be that that's all they needed.
yeah,
Could they have got more? Probably.
Yeah, I reckon
Yeah.
they needed more.
yeah.
Tarantino probably could have gone, give me 50. And
Yeah.
they probably would have done it.
Would they? Did he
Well,
have
I don't
all
know.
that?
Or was Pulp Fiction come later on?
No, this is
No,
post-
but as in, was Pulp Fiction a hit right from the start?
Yeah.
It
Oh,
was?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Big
yeah.
time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Big
okay.
time.
All right.
Yeah, no, but more money, more problems. So maybe they were like, we'll take 19 and hope for a relative success rather.
Yeah.
Should have asked for 40. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, you should be my agent, Doug.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Decline, accept.
You fired. How do you reckon GBO? How'd it go?
GBO.
Was this a successful film financially?
I always go fucking up.
Yeah. It would have been. Well, now that you said it was only made for 19, it's
Yeah.
definitely doing more than that.
Yeah.
Let's get Tarantino in it and name on it.
Mm-hmm.
And George Clooney, who was coming off the back of ER.
ER.
So that would have been
And-
a whole fandom thing for him.
Was this
being
after
his-
Batman or before Batman?
Before Batman.
Before Batman.
Before Batman.
Yeah. It was his
Oh.
first, I think it was his
Yeah.
first big
first
feature
proper film.
wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, right.
yeah. He'd been toiling for a while, but this
Yeah.
was his first. Yeah,
I'm going to go with 44.
44.
I like that.
Dollars.
I'll call it 96. People loved the cinema in 96.
Yeah,
Around that.
Wasn't much else to do.
Well, there was no. You can. Yeah, it's
Making-
it was a
making
good era
barns.
for cinema.
Yeah, walking
I'm
miles
gonna
to
go.
get to school.
I'm gonna go 65.
Whoa!
Yeah.
So the figure that I got, and I'm going to stick with one source.
Wait. Can I interject slightly before I settle
course
on my
you can.
65?
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the trailer for it?
No.
Or do you remember it?
No.
Do you know whether they revealed the vampires in the trailer?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. Oh, damn it! I was going to watch it last night.
Because I reckon if they didn't, it does more.
Right, I see what you're saying.
But the fact that if they did reveal the vampires, then
yeah.
I'd say it does less because it becomes more of a genre film.
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, I agree.
So
Choose
if
a
they
fucking
did,
number,
all right.
then.
Okay, fuck it, 65. I don't care.
65. I just.
Why am I going into so much detail? I just like to get shit right.
Yeah. So if you're still with us,
Fuck, sorry.
the answer was, according to IMDb, and I got wildly varying figures, 26 million. So it won its opening weekend. That's undisputed everywhere I look. It took 10 million and was the best received movie on its opening weekend. But they reckon it maxed out at 26.
Okay.
I have seen it mentioned up to 60, as high as 60 million.
So what are we going with?
I'm going with IMDb as the source. I'm
As
just going to have to
26.
stick with that.
Where'd you get
Okay.
60 from? What's-
Various other... There's lots of information about this movie on the
Was
internet.
was IMDb American box office? ABO.
No, they give you both. No, and without drilling too deeply into the figures, I don't. This is where I started getting skeptical and looking at this because they reckon something like the American box office was something like 26.8 million, and the global box office was like 26.9 million. And I was like, I think it did better than that.
Yeah, definitely did better than that.
So I'm
Let's
skeptical.
call it 60
Yeah.
and we'll move on.
All
So
right.
I was closest. Cheers.
All right, you've won yourself a spin of the wheel.
Good.
Wiki synopsis. We love Wikipedia.
I love
Do
a
it.
wiki.
Yeah. From Dusk Till Dawn is a 1996 American action horror film directed by Robert Rodriguez and written by Quentin Tarantino. It stars Harvey Keitel, George Clooney, Tarantino, and Juliet Lewis. The plot follows a pair of American criminal brothers who take a family as hostages in order to cross into Mexico, but ultimately find themselves trapped in a saloon frequented by vampires.
Yep. I'll take 10 tickets on opening night, please.
I'll take one. Very lonely.
Yeah, nailed it.
Yeah.
Nailed
yeah,
it.
pretty much explained it.
Like fucking awesome synopsis.
Yeah, it was
as
really
well.
good.
Like,
I should have just read the synopsis instead
Yeah.
of watching the movie, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah, would have had the same amount of notes, I reckon.
Every time Wiki nails it, we should give them $1.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Because they do.
So that's
ask,
$1
yeah.
so far,
$1.
Wiki.
All right.
Well done.
Should we discuss this? Because I'm not doing that.
Left my wallet in my other pants.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't have pants.
Duff's not wearing pants for everyone at home.
No,
Just boxer shorts tonight.
Yep.
Yeah, we're going to have a
Very
chat about that
comfortable.
later. There'll be an
Comfy.
intervention again after this. Studio tagline. This is a good one. One night is all that stands between them and freedom, but it's going to be one hell of a night.
Yeah. Good. And I like that. It's
I
really
don't like it.
Oh, why not?
I don't know.
I need specific reasons.
I've got none for you. I just
good.
didn't
Good
enjoy
tag.
it.
No, I like
Yeah, it does it all.
It does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I reckon Tarantino wrote that too.
Probably did.
Should just say
Sharp.
Trejo is in it.
Yeah.
Awesome tagline.
Trejo becomes vampire. Sold. Yeah. done.
Trejo's neck gets thicker.
He's jacked in this movie, isn't he?
Yeah. He's a young fit man.
Knows it,
man.
yeah.
He's got those prison biceps.
Mm.
So it obviously qualified for our esteemed podcast by scoring less than 50 on Metacritic.
What did he get?
48.
That's not bad.
Close.
Just snuck in,
Okay.
which is great because we were just saying before, there's a few movies that you look at them and they're like 51 and they're disqualified.
Yeah. It's
So I love it
nice.
when one I want sneaks in under.
Just
it.
under.
Hopefully that balances out in the long run. User score, 8.6.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's huge.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like,
wow.
have we had
wow.
one higher than that yet? I doubt it.
I don't know. I don't think so, no.
I
But
think
people love
Predator
it.
was 98.
User score? Oh, it was it was pretty high. It was around there.
Yeah.
Around 80. No, it was around 87.
This
or
particular
something like
user
that.
gave it 98. Yeah. Small sample size, very high score. I've got some reviews. So obviously critically not so well received. The public obviously gave it and this score is obviously accumulated over a long time, whereas the critical reviews come in at the time of release. So it's interesting to see. I reckon that would have built up. If you could track those particular stats, if you could graph that shit, you'd see it ascending.
I love a graph.
Yeah.
Steffi Graph.
She was good.
She was great.
Yeah. She had
Topical as well. Australian Open's just
Yeah.
kicking off. She probably won a couple of Australian Opens, I would have thought.
She probably did.
I reckon about 3, Ken.
Yeah, I'd say so. Anyway.
Shout out to Steffi Graf. Thanks for listening. Reviews. I've got reviews from people. Desson Thompson from the Washington Post.
Des.
Yeah, we get a lot of Washington Post.
Yeah.
They've got opinions.
Yeah, mostly
the
shit
negative.
ones.
In spoiler alert, they've got 2 separate opinions from 2 separate people in this run again.
Shit. Okay.
They just had, how many correspondents?
Send them
they had?
all. Send them all to go see it.
Nothing else is happening in Washington. Quiet time on the Hill. Just send them to the movies. And that's why they shit on these movies, because they're political correspondents that are really annoyed.
That's what
with
it is.
Yeah. They're sitting there thinking, there's probably an interesting war going on, and here I am watching this shit. Which Desmond Thompson pretty much said. He said, it's a triumph of vile over content, mindless nihilism posing as hipness.
Okay, I got a lot to say about that.
Yeah.
What do any of those words mean?
We've been through nihilist before.
No, what was the last word? Hipness.
Hipness. He just means like being hip, you know?
Trying to be cool.
hipness.
It's how someone from Washington tries to sound ironically hip.
So he's saying it wasn't hip,
No,
but it was trying to be hip.
it's trying to be hip.
Okay.
It was posing as hipness, so he's kind of saying they missed the mark there too.
Oh, okay.
So he gave it 10.
It's his opinion.
Oh, Desson,
I don't think I like this.
yeah. Well, you're going to love Hal Hinson from the Washington Post.
Howie.
Yeah, these two exchanged notes over the water cooler.
Hal.
Yeah, Hal was like, "What do you reckon, Des?" Des was like, "I'm going to crap on it." I said, "I'm going to crap on it worse." And Hal said, "A plotting, aggressive film that is neither engaging nor disturbingly funny."
What?
Kind of
Was it
read.
trying to be? What?
I read that wrong.
Okay.
Yeah.
A plotting, aggressive film that is neither engaging, disturbing nor funny. So
thank you.
it's neither engaging, disturbing nor funny.
Okay.
More funny.
Yeah, you did make a meal
Yeah,
of that.
yeah,
first.
sorry everyone.
Don't fuck up Hal's words for him.
Howie?
Howie?
I'll be better.
Shallow
Yeah.
Hal.
Hal.
Is cranky.
He'll write you a nasty email. Yeah, okay, Hal, whatever. We're moving on. Steve Biodrowski from the
Wow.
what a name. What have you done to me, Steve? Cine Fantastique magazine.
Wouldn't read it.
Whereas one might reasonably have expected that the combo of Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez would yield a critical mass of nuclear proportions, instead of an atomic fireball's worth of entertainment, we get a long fuse, quite a bit of fizzle, and a rather minor blast.
Okay. I'll accept it
Forgotten.
and dismiss it.
Yeah, we dismissed him at Cine Fantastique
Yeah, it's yuck.
magazine. So I don't know what he's doing for a crust these days, Steve.
It didn't turn into a website. That one. I can tell you that.
You reckon that URL was taken? It would have been fucking spewing. I've got the world's most wanky, obscure name, and someone's already taken it. So Mike Massey from Gone with the Twins. That's a blog. That's got to be a blog. That sounds like a blog, yeah. And what an inexplicably bizarre, frequently ugly, intermittently nonsensical, confused experiment of a movie.
It is definitely an experiment of a movie.
That's what I'm thinking is their biggest issue with it, which is obviously something we'll drill down into a little bit. But this is a uniquely structured movie.
Yeah.
And
big time.
A lot of people didn't get it.
Oh, you'd be a bit silly if you didn't get it.
Yeah, it was.
It's right there in front of you.
Yeah,
but I get what you mean. Like, they didn't get it.
Yeah. They got it. They just didn't want it.
Get it.
Yeah. So finally, we have Mike LaSalasan from the Francisco Chronicle.
Doing well
What
with
did
these
that
names.
cine guy give it score-wise?
10.
Are these all 10s?
There's all 10s, and then this guy gave it 0.
Wow.
Yeah.
I want
Yeah.
to hear this.
We always wonder, as we say, was there nothing redeeming about it
Nothing.
at all?
Not Clooney, not the writing of Tarantino at the start.
Not Salma bloody Hayek. What is wrong
Salma
with you?
Hayek with a python.
Jesus.
Python.
Beautiful python.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that later. I got about 10 minutes on that python.
Oh, yeah. That's how I became a man. Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez had their fun with From Dusk Till Dawn, and now they need to stay away from each other for good, forever.
Wow.
So he's choosing who they can hang out with now. He's issuing bloody restraining orders from the Francis.
Like your parents when
I'm
they
not
find
sure that's
out
your jurisdiction, bud.
they find out your mate smoked a cigarette. You stay away from Tim.
Yeah. Then
Never
they
again.
They find out you stole the cigarettes from IGA for him. Yeah. But they don't know. Yeah, so critically, I don't know what you guys reckon, but having seen it, I can probably understand why critically it wasn't that well received.
Yeah, sure.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
The first half, I disagree. Like the first half until it gets to the vampires.
Yep.
First half is it's a very well done movie.
Oh,
It's
that's
well
great.
shot,
Yeah.
the dialogue's great, like
100%.
all that sort of stuff. So
Yep.
critically, like surely, I mean, you can't give it fucking 0.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even that first conversation when the sheriff walks in, he's talking to the clerk. That was great, man.
It's really
That-
good.
that
It's
was
perfect.
Yeah.
like a daunting 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Then you find out there's dudes in the back with guns.
Yeah. And you just, I hadn't watched it for quite, like we say this every episode, so
Yeah,
bear
yeah.
with us. I hadn't watched it for a long time. There's bits I'd forgotten.
This
But,
one,
yeah.
very long time for me already.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
No, I'm
very long
a
time.
fairly regular watcher of From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yeah, right.
As in, I'd probably watch it once every few years type thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I watched it a lot when I was younger. And it just
Yeah, I
it's
knew.
one of
Yeah,
those
I know it
movies
well.
Yeah.
that Fell off a cliff.
I watch 4 movies a year, and this one didn't make it in the rotation in the last decade. But I'm so glad I rewatched it, and I completely agree that the tension that's built. So right from the very first shot, that you sort of get an idea of tone and where you're going with it, and then obviously that tension building, because you're not too long into that first scene, you realise that there's more going on than meets the eye.
Yeah.
Even if you've forgotten, like I had.
Yeah.
Somehow, I twigged after a minute or two.
Yeah.
But yeah, I completely agree. How even that's got to give you a point or two on the board right from the
Yeah.
get go. Like,
Surely.
That
Yeah.
that alone's a point.
Yeah.
Another point would be, when the newscaster's doing the story and they show the picture of the clerk and he's out fishing with a beer in his hand.
That's so good.
He's holding the fish. I went,
That's
that's
so
a point
good.
right there, my friend.
That was really good. Yeah.
That whole news bit was just so well done.
Yeah.
It was perfect.
It wasn't my fauvorite part.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I
I thought
wasn't
it was
huge
just
on
really
that.
clever. It was like
Yeah.
a big joke.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was very well done.
Because what I felt until that point, one of the things they were doing, the way, like I really noticed the way this was crafted as a movie this time. We say this again
There we
every
go.
time. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. But
No.
we watch these movies a little bit differently when you know you're going to take notes and then talk about it.
Yep.
And so you watch the way it's crafted a little bit better. And one of the things that struck me with that first scene as well is you got an idea of who the main protagonists were, like Seth and Richie. You got an idea. You sort of learnt what you needed to know about them in the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, without him spelling it out to
Yeah.
you type
First
thing.
5 minutes.
The way the way you learn Richie's a stone cold psychopath.
Because that guy wasn't.
Oh, so you're saying that's why you didn't love or need the news report bit, because I already knew all that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah,
think it had
thought
been
was
so
just a bit of-
subtly, expertly crafted to that point, and it was like, let's just ram this bit in here for anyone who hasn't got it to this point.
I just think they need to know he stole money, he broke out of prison, then robbed a bank. Now they're on the run.
Yeah.
Because that sets up the whole movie of meeting someone to get across the border.
Yeah, I reckon I got that by that point.
Yeah,
anyway.
I probably had. I'd actually looked at the news thing as like it was almost like a bit. It was like a sketch.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
it was,
so it was just like, oh, we've thought of something funny here. Let's throw it in.
Yeah,
I didn't actually look at it like, oh, this is to explain to all the dummies what's actually going on
Yeah,
here.
you're probably more right. I probably just think
I
the
usually
worst of
am.
most people, and
Yeah.
I think that most people need things explained to them in small words slowly. So that's probably my issue. And you get Kelly Preston to deliver the news.
Yeah.
She can say whatever. So yeah, I completely agree. I felt right from the jump. They set it up, and I just noticed it was just great writing, like the way the way it was set up all the way through that scene.
Like quintessential Tarantino writing, like dialogue.
It's
It's in that sharp, witty, and it's kind of like, we touched on it with Kevin Smith last time, but like dialogue that doesn't actually apply to the narrative of the film, but it's just amusing and it's just banter or whatever.
Yeah,
love that stuff in movies.
Yeah, I just thought the actors, it felt like the start of the movie was written for them.
Yep.
Like George Clooney was exceptional.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah.
Everybody in that scene
Even
was.
Quentin Tarantino was exceptional at the start.
Who's the guy that works at the booze shop?
Oh, I don't know his name, but he's definitely that guy, isn't he? He was
John
so
something?
good in that scene.
John.
I didn't give him a fucking signal.
Yeah.
He's amazing. Yeah, I mainly know him from Eastbound and Down.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he pops up in all sorts of shit. I
He
think
really
he's actually,
does.
I think he pops up in a couple of Tarantino movies. I think he might be a semi-regularly used guy.
Well, that's something that I sort of talk about a little bit as well here, is
Yeah.
that both these directors reuse people quite a lot. John Hawkes is his
John
name, by the way.
Hawkes, that's it.
Yeah. He was MVP of that scene, despite
Yeah.
everything that was going on. He had me engaged.
Yeah.
He did
Excellent.
so
I
well.
thought the sheriff was great as well.
The sheriff is
Had a foul mouth.
It wasn't the worst.
So good.
Some of the actual dialogue used is a little bit jarring these days.
It is, but it's like that's how the sheriff would have spoken
100%.
in
Yeah.
'96, and that's
Yeah.
what I fucking love about Tarantino.
Yeah.
Is he puts that shit in there. It's so offensive. Even in '96, that shit was highly offensive. But hey, that's how the sheriff would have spoken.
Mhm.
So fuck it. Like if
Yeah.
you're highly offended by what's in a movie,
Yeah.
a Tarantino movie is not for you.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like, here's your supposed good guy.
Yeah.
And he's an arsehole alcoholic. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that blurring of lines between good and
fucking hammered
it's so good.
a bottle of that
Under that bottle of Jack. Yeah.
$6.50. $6.50 for a bottle of Jacks is pretty good.
It's a good price, yeah.
Yeah.
And then it simmers for a little while there with the tension building, and you know something's going to happen in that scene where the ranger, Texas Ranger, whatever he is, goes to use the toilet, and Seth comes out.
Yeah.
Clooney is brilliant in that, right?
Right on.
And he scares the shit out of everybody watching.
Yeah.
It's only a few seconds after that, it goes from like 20 to 120. Like there's simmer, all the tension that he ramps up a little bit with his whole pointing the gun in the guy's face, and the point of view you get when you're looking right into his face and really tied in.
Yeah.
And then, what is it, 3 minutes later, the dude's on fire and he's still shooting at him.
It happened
And you're
quick.
like, this movie just went from a couple of guys talking
Yeah.
to a freaking corpse that's like still popping caps.
And the bit where they're driving away and the camera angle zooms back and you see a lady in the trunk, I went, oh, these guys are really bad.
Yeah.
They're
Yeah.
bad dudes.
Yeah, it's just so well done right from the get-go. So, yeah, how could you possibly give it 10?
Love that opening scene.
Yeah.
Loved it.
It's one of the great openings of a movie from the 90s.
An
Has to
introduction.
be. Introduction,
Yeah.
Because it really just covers off so much. Like,
Yeah. Because I think the actual titles come after that, don't they? I can't quite remember, but
Fuck, I just watched it last night.
yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Either way.
Didn't
let
pay
us know.
attention.
Let us know. Yeah, and you can tell straight away, like you said, Duff, there's that sort of, I don't know what you'd call it, where you're sort of breaking the realism a little bit there, where they take away the side view of the trunk and you realise that it's a terrified woman in the trunk.
Yeah.
That's pretty bold creative choice when things have been a little bit...
They do it. They do this a few times in the movie, and I like it when movies do it.
Yeah.
Provided they nail it, and
Yep.
like it's fucking
If they do it
Rodriguez and
properly.
Tarantino, they're going to nail it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I enjoyed that.
Yeah,
I thought it was cool.
And he's got a hole in his hand.
Yes, that's also cool.
Where he's in the car just looking at George
Yeah.
Clooney's eye through his hand. Such
You are right away after that.
duct tape.
You are so terrified of what Quentin Tarantino's character could do. Like you realise he's got no boundaries at that.
He
point,
goes
right?
from he's a bad dude to he's a fucking psychopathic dude to he's off the chain. He's scary as shit.
Yeah, the worst.
He's scary as shit.
Yeah, and then if you know what's coming, you're like, I can't wait to see this guy's fight vampires.
Yeah, George Clooney, like his character though, Seth, a lot of redeeming qualities
Yes,
though.
yes.
So he is a bad dude and a piece of shit,
Mhm.
but he's not. Like he actually does look after the people that he takes hostage and
Tries.
Well, he tries, yeah.
Yeah.
He's obviously looking after his brother. And also is disgusted by his brother's behaviour.
Yep.
Like George Clooney's
just-
actually a good guy in this.
Yeah.
He's just loyal to a T.
Yeah.
Really- yeah.
He's probably just had a tough upbringing, and this is the life that he's leading.
He's just
and,
acting out.
Yeah, he's just acting out.
Yeah.
But he's actually a good guy.
Yeah.
If you look at the things on paper, the way he treats everyone and that sort of thing, he's a good character.
Yeah, somehow you're empathetic towards this guy.
Definitely.
I think he demands respect, and he gets respect.
Yeah.
Give it right back to you. Because that's the scene with him and Harvey Keitel. Just
Oh,
having-
love
drinking?
that. No. Oh, sorry. Is that what
Be
you're going
cool.
to talk about?
Be cool.
Yeah.
And then also the bit in the motel where he's talking,
Yeah.
and Harvey takes his glasses
Oh.
off, and every time he does that, he's going to say something very profound. And George Clooney shuts it down.
Yeah.
Demands respect.
I was thinking of the scene
Car
in the
ride.
RV,
Yep.
and he turns to Harvey Keitel, says to him, "If he lays a hand on my daughter, I'm going to fucking kill him." And then George Clooney goes, "Well, that's fair," and
fair.
shakes hands on it.
Yeah, and he
I was
says,
like,
if you break your word, I'm going to kill every single one of you.
The only things that I care about are me, that son of a bitch back there in the back, and our money. So you help us get across the border without incident. You stay with us through the night without trying anything funny, without trying to escape. And in the morning, I'm going to let you guys go, all of you.
How do I know you'll keep your word? You have to convince me you're telling the truth.
Look, dickhead, the only thing that you have to be convinced about is the fact that you are stuck in a situation with a couple of real mean motor scooters. And I don't want to have to worry about you all fucking night. You know, and I don't think you want to be worrying about my brother's intentions towards your daughter all night either. Did you notice the way that he was looking at her?
Yes.
You didn't like it, did you?
No, I didn't.
I didn't think so. You get us into Mexico, and you don't try to escape. And your daughter will be safe, and in the morning I will let you go. I give you my word, Jacob.
If he touches her, I'll kill him.
Fair enough. You break your word, I'll kill all of you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Again,
so you know he's a good guy.
Yeah, and that's why you can see why, speaking of going from 20 to 120, Quentin Tarantino, with his script writing talents and putting his directorial stuff aside, you can see why he went from like being the video store clerk to being Quentin Tarantino in the space of a couple of years when you see how expertly this was actually crafted in that regard.
For sure.
It really stood out to me this time.
Just on Tarantino, I know you've probably got a shitload on him, but in general discussion, what I fucking love about this movie every time is Tarantino is like the most despicable human you can possibly imagine in this movie, right? He wrote the movie.
Yeah.
And then put himself in as that character.
Yeah. So he didn't know he was going to take that part.
Did?
Yeah. No, apparently.
So when he was writing it, he didn't know.
No.
Okay. He's really good.
Because it seems like he deliberately gave himself little dialogue because he knows he's a trash actor.
Oh, you reckon?
Actually,
I thought he was actually quite good.
He was good in this.
Yeah,
but
I think in
obviously
Dusk Till Dawn is good. Yeah. Everything else has been very simple.
Yeah, he's quite
apart from Desperado.
Quite wooden, yeah. So it would have seemed like if he had the ability to tie himself, write himself a little lower key in the script. But he apparently, I believe it was a happy accident.
Yeah, just the fact that he ended up doing this character, that he's obviously just like channeled the darker shit in his mind to write this character, and he's going, fuck it, I'll play him.
Yes. And again, he was on the ascent, but he wasn't who he was yet either.
Yeah.
So bold choice, good point. Yeah.
I wanted to talk about the neck tattoo.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, please.
I fucking hate it. It's the one thing in this movie. You know how we hate to mention things from other pods in case people haven't listened, but did Mallrats last week, and Duff's entire notes were about Ben Affleck's pants and how they're just way too large for a regular-sized man. So this tattoo that George Clooney wears is my Ben Affleck's pants from this movie.
It bothers you.
I fucking hate it because
Really? That bad?
He didn't need it. He was so menacing with his dialogue and all that. It was like, you know, when they're trying to make, in like a shit movie, when they're trying to make someone bad, they give them like a rough haircut and like a shitty neck tattoo, or like, you know, a leather jacket with some holes in it or something. Oh, this guy's, this guy's bad.
Are you talking about the bad guys from Grease?
Pretty much. But it just was so unnecessary to give him this kind of weird tribal sleeve thing, and it just doesn't look good either.
I disagree. I think it looks great.
You're allowed to disagree.
I don't mind it. So it was Clooney's idea.
Okay.
Yeah, he got the idea from Once Were Warriors.
Ah, very good.
Yeah, and he thought, that guy's a bit of a badass.
A lot of tribal tattoos.
Yeah. On tribal people, which is the distinction. Anyway, speaking of what stage is the worst. But no, I didn't feel strongly about it either way.
Have you ever seen the movie Death Sentence with Kevin Bacon?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, it's an amazing film.
Shocking.
It's a wicked revenge movie.
Yeah.
His son
It's
gets killed.
dark.
His son gets killed by a bunch of criminals, and Kevin Bacon's just a regular dad that hunts them all down. Yeah. But anyway, all the criminals in that movie all have tribal tattoos like painted on them like this, and it always bothers me every time as well. They're a criminal. They should have tattoos, but you just missed it.
And they're all fresh. And yeah.
Kind of like this. It kind of looks like black paint on it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, that's probably long enough on his tribal tattoo. I just didn't love it. It's always bothered me in the movie.
Well, it was George's idea, and I backed George fully.
Yeah, well.
He was a doctor, Ken.
Yeah.
I think he still is.
What?
Yeah, if you do 5 seasons on ER, you're automatically given a doctorate in medicine.
Right.
And you keep it for the rest of your life. Yeah.
Does that mean House is a doctor too?
Yeah, he is. Oh, he was before.
Yeah.
No, he was.
He's a real doctor.
House is a real doctor?
Yeah.
House.
Yeah, Dr. House.
Roadhouse.
I don't know. He's probably a real doctor. He sounds like he knows what he's
He
talking
talks
about.
like a real doctor in that he's English.
Yeah.
He just sounds smarter than the rest of us. Yeah.
I'm surprised you loved it, Ken. You hate arrogant characters.
No, I love arrogant characters. I'm drawn to them.
One of my things that I wrote down amongst the things that I liked, I just wrote, and I'm sorry if this is a little crass or a little basic, but I wrote Salma Hayek, Jesus fucking Christ.
Yeah.
For 3 minutes when she's out there, it's fucking mesmerizing.
Isn't it?
It really is.
Like, I watched it, and then I don't do what you guys and critically think. I just watch a film.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, shit, that's been like 5 minutes of her dancing. And it wasn't overly sexual for me. It was just mesmerizing.
Mesmerizing.
It was sexy, not sexual.
Yeah.
It's the band as well. Shout out to the
love
band.
that
The Mariachi
band.
band.
Yeah, man. Even when they're playing a dismembered corpse, they're just fucking killing it.
I don't know how that happens
suddenly
so quickly.
turns-
So quickly.
It's like, yeah.
All of a sudden, this guy's got no arms and legs, and they got a string.
It's just they've
I love
strung
that.
that guy. What tuning is he in? No one.
I think this is my thing.
How's he plugged into an amp?
I think they had it prepared. There you go.
The
Just
corpse
banged.
it out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
right.
think
Like a
there
fresh
was
corpse.
already a
Yeah.
corpse around, and they've gone.
Oh, so he's turned to his lead guitar, what do they call it? Guitar tech.
Was there
Throw
a
me my corpse.
Was
the
there a
dead guy.
vampire roadie
Yeah.
who just threw them the corpse?
Yeah.
I saw Slipknot do that a similar thing once.
Really?
No. It was I was fucking paid to
just
see
a
that.
rumour.
Though.
It's just
yeah,
a rumour.
paid to see that. That'd be great. Yeah. No. So then I discovered, apart from the fact that, like I said, I'm pretty sure that scene made me a man in 1996.
Yeah.
So thanks for that, Salma. None of it was choreographed.
Oh, she just went for it.
Yeah, that like Robert Rodriguez put the music on and said, "Do
Do your
whatever."
thing. She did
Yeah.
very well. I noticed at one point the python, a beautiful specimen of a
like
python. I
right
touched
up
on
at
it. Yeah, it got really close to her face, and you could actually see the fear in her eyes for a
Yeah,
moment.
she hates snakes.
Yeah, okay.
She's terrified of snakes.
She hates snakes.
Yeah, yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I don't.
It's quite a
I
large.
think that's
snake.
probably a normal human condition to
Yeah,
be
yeah.
wary of snakes. It's an 11-foot python.
Those
Yeah.
pythons weigh a bit as well.
Yeah, she's a strong. She's got a
Probably
strong,
would've been- yeah, would've
strong
been 30,
core. I
40
noticed.
kilos.
I noticed her strong core.
I just wanted to say a joke, and then I realised it'll be edited out, so I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, and she's so afraid of snakes that she needed months of therapy to prep for the scene,
Oh, grow up,
and
Salma.
is
Yeah, no shit.
semi hypnotized.
Semi-hypnotized.
Yeah,
During the-
during the scene. Yeah, I don't know how they half hypnotize you. I'm not sure how that works.
She
but-
semi-hypnotized me.
Yeah, she really
Wow.
did, and everybody in the room. That was a great scene because like
Everyone
all
just
those
stopped.
badass, everyone just stopped. What
Yeah,
they're
it's
doing.
cool.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that. One of my other favorite things that I really love in a movie, and this is going a bit further down. Things have gone to shit. Like we're fighting vampires off, all that sort of thing. How good? The only thing better than a prepping for battle scene, right? Like what do we got? What are we going to use?
Yeah.
Is using like having to fashion your own weapons.
Oh yeah.
So
Love
good,
it.
man. Yep. I'm
Oh,
blessing this
man.
water. Just the whole thing. So that the huge highlight for me was also these little things like that. Like
Yeah.
really enjoyed that.
When they walk down the thing as well, it's like a.
Oh yeah,
I hate to say it, but like a Marvel movie when they all walk down, it's like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah,
type.
yeah. It was-
Lined
yeah.
up like that.
It was like
Yeah.
little song playing in the background. They walk down. They've all got the little weapons.
He's made there's I don't know whether there's any symbology and stuff like he's made a cross and it's out of a gun. Like,
Yeah.
could there be anything
A
more
gun and a
American?
baseball bat?
Yeah, a gun and a baseball bat. That's what 100%. That's got to be. That's
But if
an
Harvey
Easter egg.
Keitel's got a gun and a baseball bat,
I'm out. Yeah.
Man,
shoot
Harvey
yourself,
Keitel.
wouldn't you?
How
You're a
good
vampire?
is Harvey Keitel? Yeah, you just
Really
you
good.
just leave.
if I was a vampire, I'd just snap my own neck.
You just go.
Pretty good at
I'm
it.
out.
Oh look, I'm double booked. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm
We talk
supposed
about
to be at Pilates.
The best weapon in the movie for me is sex machines.
Oh man,
Oh, the
gun.
crotch pistol.
Yeah, it's so good.
I just love how he's called Sex Machine.
Sex Machine.
And that's how they refer to him the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah,
That's,
Yo, Sex Machine.
yeah, so cheesy. Yeah. He gave himself that nickname.
Oh, absolutely.
There's no chance someone else gave him that nickname. That's a self-given. That's against the rules. You can't give yourself a nickname.
On the obviously the bar scene and all that. Another bit I really loved was at the very end of the movie where they pan out from Titty Twisters.
Yeah.
From behind it, and you can actually see it's a temple.
It's a
Temple,
Mayan-looking
yeah.
temple.
Yeah,
Unreal.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thought that
I
was
wrote
really cool.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well. It's something that I
and all
really
the
enjoyed.
damaged vehicles and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Jeez, how
Yeah.
long have they been doing
That's
this?
like
Yeah.
a classic backwoods horror movie scene
yeah,
where
wrong
the-
turn or something like
yeah,
that.
where
This is just a
the
junkyard
team
of cars.
stumble across
Yeah.
the discarded vehicles and luggage and whatnot.
Yeah, I
I
agree.
like that in a
Yeah,
horror
it was
movie.
a really nice
Yeah.
touch. At first, I was thinking they could have ended it. Like I remember thinking it would have been cool to end it when Clooney drives away and leaves Juliet Lewis standing there. Because for a second, you're like, "What is she going to do?"
Yep.
Like, part of me in those circumstances, and the reason I don't watch so many horrors, for starters, I'm like, just get in your fucking car. Like, hurry up, get in your car, get out of Vampireville,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But she's like standing there with the wind blowing in her hair,
Wandering
and shit,
around, going-
covered in blood, like just soaking in blood. She's like, "See you, George. Have a good night."
It's funny. She goes down the road and meets Woody Harrelson and Natural Born Killers.
Oh,
It's a carry on.
tying it together.
carry-on,
I didn't
yeah.
know that. That's actually
Makes sense.
Yeah,
Just
that
watch their
explains a
family
lot
movie.
about
She's by herself. She's got no one to turn to.
wow.
She turns to Woody.
There you go. That's why Rodney Dangerfield's her stepdad. Makes so much sense.
You're welcome.
What a take.
Yeah, wow. But then they did the next scene where she drives off in the RV. It pans back. Some kind of 1996 CGI going on there. But you get
There's a
idea
bit of
you're
that throughout the film.
like kind of a Mayan appearing temple.
Yeah.
Really good.
On the CGI and stuff, did you guys feel like it was really bad? Obviously, it's really bad at some points, like the melting vampires and shit like that.
Yeah.
And they just burst into flames and whatnot. Like, it's bad.
Yeah.
But my whole thing is that's incredibly intentional.
Yeah, it's
to
a
look
conscious
that bad.
decision, I believe.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Like, it's a B movie from halfway through.
Yeah, you see
but then, I've heard very different opinions on that.
Really?
That it's just like, they didn't have the budget and it was 96, this is what they could do. And I was like, 96, they could do way better than that.
Yeah.
This is meant to look like a grindhouse film.
Yes.
Well, if you look at Salma Hayek's makeup compared to everyone else's, that was very good.
Yeah.
I think that's
True.
intentional because she's a very good-looking human. Everyone else is just a mess.
Yeah, she's also a name as
Yeah.
well. Like, yeah. No,
I
that
think
makes
it was
sense.
meant to be like that.
If you look at his other movie, like from the Grindhouse series,
Planet Terror.
it's exact same. It's the same gore. It's the same stupid like.
It's fucking
too
awesome
much
as well.
goring.
Yeah. No,
It's the machine gun leg.
Yeah.
Love it. Yeah.
And it
Love
was
that
also
fucking
real makeup and real
like
physical effects for the
physical
most part,
effects,
rather than there wasn't a hell of a lot of CGI.
No, the CGI was horrible.
Yeah.
But if the makeup's like that and so over the top and the guy's playing a corpse guitar and all that sort of shit, like, it's meant to fucking be like this.
Yeah, the makeup's disgusting. It's not good.
Yeah, it's deliberately camp though.
Yeah.
And that's why there's things like a dude called Sex Machine with a crotch gun.
Yeah.
Like you can't enjoy. Maybe you can, but there's like a bit of a disconnect between complaining about the visual effects and going, but I'm fully buying into the fact there's a dude called Sex Machine. You know what I mean? Like,
No,
you've got to suspend disbelief
from 1 hour
It's about
in.
fucking vampires.
Yeah, exactly. As soon as Cheech Marin does his fucking pussy, we got pussy.
Yeah.
From that moment,
pussy.
from that moment, you're not watching the same movie anymore,
No.
and you have to be fucking down with that.
Yes.
You've got to be down with that. You're
Yeah.
about to watch a fucking grindhouse
Like,
B
oh
grade.
shit, this is taking a
It's a
turn.
B movie. Yeah,
it is. Yeah,
intentionally.
So they deliberately what they were trying to do in the way that it was written and then obviously made, because Tarantino obviously wrote it and then he's working with his friend Robert Rodriguez to make it, and he's obviously on set, right? So I'm pretty sure they're having some chats in the bar.
for sure.
Was for it to be a double feature in one film.
That's
like they
crazy.
did later on.
And
with,
then they actually did that later on with Death
Yeah.
Proof and
Planet Terror.
Yeah,
There we go.
Yeah, so at the time, very unique concept, and
Yeah.
they definitely pulled it off. But
Well, I think
it just turns.
what I think the concept is from like, and I don't want to fuck the era up because I don't know, but like a double feature at the drive-in.
100%.
I think
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
the 50s or
Yeah.
60s. I don't know when they were making like
Yeah.
the creature from fucking swamp or whatever it was called. Like,
Creature from
I don't know,
the
man.
Swamp.
I'm not
Creature from the fucking swamp.
I'm not a film
He
historian.
is from the swamp, not more than one swamp.
From the fucking
just
swamp.
A swamp.
fucking swamp. But yeah, they used to do those as
Yeah.
double features or whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I
that's
think,
cool.
Yeah, and that's why there's such a jarring juxtaposition between as soon like it's getting dark as they're driving down the driveway towards the Titty Twister.
Yep.
Apparently, that scene was the Titty Twister from the front's meant to look like something out of. I think it's meant to be from Escape from LA or something like that.
Oh, that makes
wow.
sense.
Yep.
Is that's John Carpenter, isn't it?
Yeah,
Which
Big
the
influence.
young Chinese boy was also wearing that Precinct 13
Yes,
shirt, which
yes.
is a shout out to.
Yeah, there's
John
lots of
Carpenter.
little Easter eggs in it like
Yeah,
that,
okay.
and that's one of them because Robert Rodriguez was really inspired. Shocker by John Carpenter. Like,
Yeah.
you can see how. But that speech by Cheech was one of my least favorite parts of the movie. Like, I just found it a little unnecessary. I found it a little. It was funny at first,
Yeah.
and then
kept on going.
Yeah.
Oh, for me, that's like the gun going off at the start of the race. That's telling you you're now watching part 2. It's like that's what it is for me. But yeah, you're right. Like, you watched it and you've heard so many people say it 1,000 times over the last 25 years.
Yeah, It did set up the
Haven't you?
campus.
Like,
Every party I've been to, someone stands out the front and goes, "They got
every party when we go to your house and watch Mallrats, just get out the front.
Which bringing up Cheech brings me to something that I was wondering. I came across and sort of went down a little rabbit hole myself. The religious subtext of the movie, right? So there's a
okay,
little bit,
I'm listening.
there's another layer going on here if you want to look for it. Sorry, Duff.
Yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out. Onto some weights.
So, like, Harvey Keitel is a lapsed preacher, right? He was obviously a very religious man of some description who commanded a flock, and he gave up he turned in his collar or whatever they do, like slid it across to the boss and said, I can't
Slid
wear
it across to God.
Yes, to God.
His
Said,
collar.
I'm out. Peace.
Yeah.
And he's lost his faith specifically because his wife died in a sudden but horrific way, right? So he's lost his faith. He's questioning everything. The kids who've been indoctrinated their whole life by it are struggling with the fact that he's struggling. They can't quite wrap their heads around it. And then what happens is he's got the ultimate test of his faith from like a supernatural force. And they have that little discussion at the end about, do you believe in God, or are you a badass motherfucker who believes in God, all that sort of thing. So he's struggling with it the whole way. That's a little bit more subtle, even the cross, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, that's all there. Yeah.
But more overt, Cheech is in this movie 3 times. Right? He's the devil.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Right? So he's playing...
Different incarnations of the devil.
Yeah,
okay.
And then at the end, he's pretty much himself as Satan, and he's like beckoning him to El Rey, and El Rey is hell.
Okay.
Right?
Is that how you say hell in Spanish? El Rey?
Don't know.
Oh, you don't know, right?
No, I don't know. No, I think it means the Rey.
Oh, right.
It's My Spanish is a bit rusty.
You're right.
But yeah, that's not. And then what happened? So, not Richie, the other one, Seth, is seeking asylum in hell, and that's why Juliet Lewis is like, "You want some company?" He's like, "Do you know what El Rey is?"
Yeah. Okay.
And she says no, and he says, "No, you can't come."
Oh, fuck, that's good.
Yeah, because
I'm buying that.
You can get in, you can't get out.
Yeah.
So it'll give you safe hospice.
Yeah.
But you can never leave.
Yeah.
And that's why he's like,
which
come
is
on,
essentially what he wants.
Yeah. And he's literally beckoning.
I'm meeting a friend.
Satan's
I'm meeting the devil.
Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy. That's good.
That's cool. I like it.
Yeah. So I don't know what any of it wrapped up into. It was all sort of lots of conflicting things in question, but there's definitely like some questioning of faith, and then the whole thing.
Subcontext.
Yeah.
Kind of thing,
yeah. And then, you could go into the fact that he leans on his faith with the cross, and he says, "Yes, I'm a man of God," and then his son is the one who has to kill him.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. So there you go. That was just something that I thought of when I was watching it.
I did not think that at all.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, that's great.
They're other than the only other thing I sort of wanted to mention is something I really think is great, and it's not even specific to this movie, but Rodriguez and Tarantino, they love their little Easter eggs in these movies. So there's just a couple of little ones throughout this.
Yeah. I noticed one of them glaringly obvious.
What do you got?
The Kahuna Burger.
Kahuna Burger.
Yeah.
That's the most obvious one, and that's fucking great, right?
Yeah. The burgers?
The burgers.
The burgers are great, are they?
Yeah, no, they're fantastic. Yeah. I had a Royale with cheese. Yeah.
It's a real thing. Is Big Kahuna Burger a real
No,
chain?
I don't know, but someone get on that.
Surely.
Yeah, I'll buy one. And there's just other things from Rodriguez. Sort of the beer that they're drinking is from Desperado, Chongo beer.
Yeah.
And then the one that I liked the most was the Ranger, the Texas Ranger at the beginning. Even though he gets killed, he's the same character, same actor playing the same character in Kill Bill and Planet Terror.
I can remember him now from Kill Bill. Planet Terror, I haven't seen.
I
haven't seen that.
I saw Planet Terror once a long time ago. So I just reckon that, like, I love that we're talking about it with Kevin Smith as well a little bit. They weave these people in and out of their whole intellectual property. Like they keep popping up.
Yeah,
I reckon that's pretty clever, and especially especially like.
Well, they find people they like to work with. Yeah, same as Scorsese and DiCaprio.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And these guys do work with a lot of the same people over and over again. Danny Trejo keeps popping up.
Yeah.
Harvey Keitel, obviously.
Yeah.
Juliet Lewis. They've been in things together for a long time. So
for sure.
Yeah. There's one of the things in terms of things that I found not as enjoyable. So I make notes that say what I liked and what I not so much. Right. Yeah. I'm not a Gore guy.
Okay.
Right. I'm not. I was self-analyzing this. I was like, why don't I Gore? And I was like, I'm not necessarily turned off by it. I find it a bit boring.
Yep.
And I find it sometimes it's used as like a trope to replace better writing or something, better action or whatever, like explosions in some movies. You're like, stop blowing shit up. I'm bored now.
I understand.
Yeah. I'm a little bit the same with Gore. Fuck, this had some gore in it.
I think it needs to have that gore, though.
It does.
But it was funny gore.
Yeah.
It wasn't like a Saw movie gore.
No.
I think the gore was good at the start, but you, like Ben said, you get over it pretty quick.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, okay, cool.
It's a bloodbath. When the shit hits the fan, boy, it's just like...
Heads rolling on the floor.
Decapitations, melting faces, exploding heads, severed limbs, and all in 5 to 10 minutes.
Yeah.
It's fun gore. It's meant to be so ridiculous and over the top, and that's part of the whole B-movie thing.
One of the things they do, and one of the things that probably makes it a bit more comedic gore, is they use green blood for the vampires.
Yeah.
And that was apparently a way also to get around censorship. Using unrealistic blood.
Wasn't it R-rated, though?
I think it's R anyway.
I don't know how much worse... Well...
Can you go higher than R? Or it just never gets released? You just can't watch it?
Well, there was some cussing in that movie. There was some goddamn cussing.
Oh, yeah. There was some language, wasn't there? Yeah. The gore I'm okay with, but those words... Well, it was banned in Ireland until 2004, so you might Yeah, because of the gore.
Fuck, it's not. Man,
I never
it's
realised
a lot
Ireland
worse.
was so sensitive.
As
to
in,
that shit.
there's a lot worse because this is stupid gore.
Yeah.
Like, I get it's fucking horrifically violent, but it's just dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas there's worse shit because it's like a war movie's worse.
Yeah. There's worse shit happening at soccer games in Dublin.
Shit.
But get on your high horse, Ireland. Yeah.
Let's not talk about the island's troubles, please.
The troubles. So you can restrict your market. If you go much further with the gore, I'd suggest you probably start restricting your market, apart from the rating that you get that limits the demographic that are legally allowed to see it.
Yeah.
I found it, it was in context, but I just get a little bit bored by it. I'm
Yeah, that's fair.
What are we going to do now? And
There's only so much gore you can do.
yeah. They got it right. It went long enough, in my opinion. I've watched stupid gory movies.
Yeah.
And where it just seems like we're just going for broke here. We're just trying to outdo ourselves with with gore.
How ridiculous we can be. Yeah.
But Jesus, there was a lot of blood and a lot of different ways people got killed. Fuck. How many people do you reckon? What was the body count? You got a guess?
93, including the vampires.
All vampires count.
Oh, vampires count?
100%.
Oh, like fucking 150?
This guy's on a heater. 155.
Oh,
Hey!
bang.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that breakdown was super impressive. I should actually shout out the website that I get that shit from, because this is some person has taken the time to catalogue them.
Wait, are you saying it's better than my Predator counting the bungalows, how many people sleep per bungalow?
No. Your method
Okay.
is unmatched. But somebody has taken the time to watch this movie and note the way who they are and the way they died. Like so and so, half head blown off, rest of face melts. And
good read.
They've got 32 vampires were killed by when the sun came through. That was a cool touch too. The disco ball.
That was cool.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I forgot it. Yeah, that's
so
great.
that
I love
disco
that.
ball took out 32 people, quote unquote people.
Yeah.
Took out 32 vampires, and I believe, including the humans that passed away, and it's 155, which that's a new record for the Redeemables, right?
I think it is.
Yeah.
Quite a
Have
way.
to be.
So there's a lot of vampires that die in it. There's a lot of vampires in this movie, despite being a crime thriller.
Yeah.
Vampire movies.
Yeah.
Fans or no?
Yes.
I think I am a fan.
Yeah?
Yeah. When I was looking up vampire movies, I went, oh shit, a lot of these are my favourite movies with there's one that I really like.
Give us a top five.
Motherfucker's always trying to skate uphill.
I'm a fan
Hard
of
Target. Is that Hard Target?
Oh, no, son of a bitch.
She's a man.
I'm a fan of vampire movies,
Yeah?
but not Dracula movies.
No,
Yes.
I don't do Dracula.
So I don't like
Yeah.
the historical kind of. I prefer the modern take, like the more action style vampire movies.
Well,
but I do like the mythology of vampires.
Is that because of the movie Bram Stoker's Dracula, which was one of the worst pieces of
All
shit?
a little bit of
Draculas.
that, but just
All-
most of the Dracula movies.
Van
Anything-
Helsing garbage.
Keanu Reeves is only just recovering, in my estimation, after that movie. And he's meant to be one of the best people in the world. But that fucking
he's still
accent's like
only
a
just.
war crime as far as I'm
Well, I
concerned.
think he still is Dracula because the motherfucker hasn't aged in 10 years.
Yeah.
well done.
So for me, top 5.
Go for it.
At number 5, I've got Lost Boys. It's a classic.
Yeah.
It's
Cry, little sister. You got to
yes.
cry, little sister.
Yeah.
Shall not fall.
Come to your brother. Wow, that was great. And number 4, not many. I didn't think about this, but Interview with the Vampire.
Ugh.
Love it.
Really?
Love that.
That
movie,
falls
yeah.
into the Dracula category for me.
Yeah.
Antonio Banderas.
Yeah.
Number 3 was What We Do in the Shadows.
Yes.
That is amazing, that movie.
I love it, yeah.
I'll fight any man that says definitely Ken.
Ken's pulling the face. What does that face mean, Ken?
Love the concept.
Yeah.
Love the comedy.
Yeah.
Felt like a sketch that went a little too long.
Right.
Wow.
Right.
And number 2, I got 30 Days of Night.
Yes.
Of course.
Yes. That's an honourable mention on my list.
And number 1, of course, I've got a tie for Blade 1 and 2.
Right. Who made Blade? New
Who
Line?
made Blade?
New Line.
New Line.
New Line made blood.
New Line did Blade.
That's a good list.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Blade
There's a lot
saved
out
New
there to
Line.
choose from.
Do you want to hear something fucking wild?
What?
Same number 1 as you, Blade.
Wow.
Not Blade 1 and Blade 2, just Blade.
Just Blade. Yeah.
Number 2, 30 Days a Night.
Yes.
Yeah,
That's
same.
Josh
Yeah,
Harnett, right? Friend
Yeah,
of the podcast.
friend of the
Josh Harnett.
podcast,
Friend of the
Josh
podcast.
Harnett.
Yeah.
Making a comeback, if
Yeah.
I haven't told you
Was
already.
that an Australian production?
The guy that wrote it is from Perth.
Right.
Yeah, but I don't think it was made in Australia. But it has got Melissa George in it as well.
Yeah.
So I could.
It's got Ben Foster, who played Melissa George.
Fuck, I love Ben Foster.
Ben Foster.
We're going to do a full Ben Foster podcast one day.
I'm down. That'll be uplifting as shit.
So intense.
The Alpha Dog, what a laugh a minute that'll be.
He's so intense and everything.
That's his best.
It's great, man.
He's one of the most underrated actors going around.
He is,
for sure, right?
definitely. I've actually got a couple of his movies on my list.
Yeah. Excellent.
So Blade number 1, 2 was 30 Days a Night, 3 was this, From Dusk Till Dawn.
Yep.
4 was The Lost Boys, and 5 was an Australian production. It was Daybreakers.
Yeah.
Really like Daybreakers.
Yes.
And I wanted to give a special.
I
want to give a special mention, and I don't think many people have seen this, but I highly recommend it. To Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Now, I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. It's so stylish. Yeah. It's very fucking cool. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And also the Underworld movies.
Yes.
Shout out to them, just as a conglomerate.
Yeah.
They've I can't remember which one's like the good one. It's probably number 1, but
one with Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, but they even do one where they go back into like the olden days, like
prequels.
medieval times. It's all fucking good.
Yeah. It's got Scott Kahn in it, hasn't it?
No. Scott Speedsman.
Scott Speedsman, sorry.
No, wait.
We've got there's a bit of crossover here.
All right, go.
My ranking is fluid, but at the moment, Lost Boys number 1.
Yeah, cool. Okay.
Saw it when it was pretty new release. Had the soundtrack on cassette.
I had it on cassette too.
I
did it.
Wicked soundtrack.
2 In Excess songs on that soundtrack from Jimmy Barnes songs. 2. Yeah, well done, Australia.
Okay.
What We Do in the Shadows. I enjoyed it. I also like the TV show.
I just thought the comedy was so unique. And I loved it.
Yeah, I found it really good. Daybreakers.
Yeah, cool.
Daybreakers, well done.
It was one of those ones where you can tell it's not a huge budget, but it's so well done. And the 3 leads are Defoe, is it Ethan
Hawke, my boy Ethan.
And
Vince Colosimo.
He wasn't who I was thinking of, but well done.
So there's a funny moment in that movie where Vince Colosimo forgets he's in like a Hollywood production. Well, it's Australian production, but it's like a big Hollywood movie, and he goes full like Italian Australian. He goes, "Madam hematologist." Just the one boy. Just for a moment, rewatch the movie and tell me he doesn't do it. Madam hematologist. Sorry, who was the other
I'm crossing it
one
off the list. I'm not sure. I can't remember.
Sorry, I threw you off there.
Anyway.
Hematologist.
I just heads up as well. I left From Dusk Till Dawn off this list for just I don't know why. I just wanted to do 5 other movies.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's on my list because I'm talking about it tonight. But Blade.
Yeah.
That was one of the best action
Are they
movies.
fucking, am I hearing that they're making Blade again?
Yeah, man. Mahershala Ali is Blade.
Oh, okay.
He recently appeared in the Eternals movie at the end cutscene.
I know who he is.
Yeah.
You only hear his voice.
He was the guy out of the picture that won the Oscar, The Green Book.
Right. Okay.
If you've seen that.
So it's Blade.
And he was also in True Detective season 3.
Yes.
He's great.
Yeah,
he's a really good actor. Yeah.
So
That's going to add a bit of class to
I
it.
was thinking that's
going to
be a different angle, right?
It's going to be different.
What? I think it's amazing with Wesley Snipes.
Yes. No, it is, but it's a slightly different movie. With
his presence. He's a different kind of presence.
An action star.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
The only thing with remaking Blade,
right.
they have to do it MA, they have to do it R.
It
has to be part of that. Like,
surely.
But the way he was introduced in the Eternals, it doesn't look like that. It might go the Marvel way, which I love Marvel.
Oh,
wait.
Sorry.
Blade's
in the Eternals?
Yeah, you just hear his voice. He's like a Nick Fury kind of
What
character.
does he say?
Some motherfuckers always trying to skate uphill.
Okay.
Deacon Frost, not anymore.
Stephen Dorff.
Stephen Dorff,
yeah. Mentioned Stephen Dorff. Greatest role.
But watch the Eternals and it's a second cutscene. You'll find out a bit about that.
Today's the day that I learned that Blade's part of that
universe.
Yeah.
So wait, does that mean... I don't want to get into it.
Nah, don't get into it with comic books and me. And
No, but as in... does the Eternals fit in with normal Marvel stuff?
Yes.
So
it's in the same timeline, so it's like...
So Blade can be in the movie with Iron Man?
No. Iron Man's
okay.
really dead, bro.
Oh, no, yeah.
Well,
you know what I mean.
Wait, what?
So he's in the MCU.
That's news to me.
Fuck. I'm going to need a minute. Does Robert Downey Jr. know?
Someone should tell him to cancel this loan he's about to take out.
Damn it.
No, he's doing okay.
Yeah.
So Blade will be in the MCU.
Right.
Remember this?
Okay,
Blade saved Marvel. It was saved
yeah.
Marvel. It saved New Line. It saved everybody.
Okay.
Right.
I must
kind of saved Wesley Snipes.
Saved my life because I was hanging off a bridge and I was like, oh shit. Then I seen a poster for Wesley Snipes and Blade. I went, wow. So I calmly put on my ice skates and tried to fucking ice skate uphill.
I'm going to say that concerns me. Based on the early, like, obviously Blade movies are very different to modern day Marvel movies.
I guess it just turns out how Deadpool turns out.
Yeah.
Because that's an MCU now. So that
Deadpool's great.
If that gets an R rating, if Punisher joins in, it gets an R rating.
Yeah. I don't think R rating's something that the studios are afraid of these days.
No, not with streaming devices and stuff.
If it's the right Marvel character, I guess.
Yeah.
With the quality of fake IDs these days as well.
I just don't think you can make a PG fucking Blade movie.
No,
You can't.
it's a vampire
well, you
movie.
can't do it like a traditional Marvel movie with Blade.
Yeah, like
otherwise
vampire
you're ruining,
Sesame
you're
Street.
ruining the
But
character.
I'm thinking they're going to go in a different direction. They're going to start doing that because it's Deadpool, Moon Knight, which is coming on Disney Plus and stuff like that. I think it's going to go a bit darker, which is good. It needs a darker.
Needs to freshen up, maybe.
It needs to freshen up, like
Less flashing colours and fancy boy costumes.
More leather jackets with holes in them.
Duff's getting angry. All right, so anyway, what else
I
have
had
we got
one more-
about From Dusk Till Dawn?
I had one
Oh,
more
sorry,
movie. I
sorry.
had one more movie.
Sorry.
Underworld was also on my list.
Oh, yeah, cool.
cool.
It was really good.
Nice.
I really,
Love Underworld.
taking it for what it is, I enjoyed it.
They're really good.
Yeah.
I got a little bit. I got a little bit for you guys. I got a question.
Ooh.
See, in this movie, Sex Machine gets bit, right?
Yeah.
He doesn't tell anyone.
Yeah.
Would you guys tell anyone?
I
Same
can't keep a
applies-
secret.
Same thing applies like zombies.
I was going to say, I
anything.
think more about this with zombie films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Zombie, I'm not telling anyone.
Nah.
Just let me fucking roam.
Nah, I'm just not feeling well.
I'm a dead hoper. Just let the dead hoper roam. I'll probably
We're
still
all
rock up
zombies
to my
already.
job and fucking...
I know.
No one will know the difference.
Durr.
You hungover, Duff?
Durr.
No pants on.
Yeah.
Nobody will be able to tell.
Fucking...
Very good.
No, I'd just be like sweating and shaking and be, I just had bad sushi. Like,
I always weirdly think when I watch vampire, not really this particular vampire movie, but other vampire movies, I'm like, fucking bite me. I'll fucking live forever. I'll party.
Really?
Yeah.
I would live forever if it's Interview with the Vampire.
Yeah.
I would not live forever in Dusk Till Dawn.
I don't want to look like that.
I don't want a thick net fucking like
Trejo.
putty face.
What was that one on? Did you guys watch that vampire movie that just came out on Netflix about 6 months ago? The two young lady vampires, and they take a guy. He's like basically an Uber driver, and they take him around town.
Oh, no. It's on the list.
Really good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's really
right.
good.
Yeah.
But anyway, I would live like them.
So it's like Collateral with vampires.
Yeah, it pretty much is.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But he kind of has this. Well, yeah, I won't spoil it, but have a look at it. Yeah.
All right.
And in that movie, I'm like, fucking bite me right from the first scene.
Yeah,
Just
bite me immediately.
as soon as I know you're a
I don't want to live forever. I'm already confused by what's going on everywhere, the technology and the
I would like
lights
to live
and
forever.
all the
That'd be
cars
good.
beeping and stuff.
All the cars, damn kids running around the street with their
I
big
just-
hot rod cars.
podcasts people are talking about.
I don't get it.
I just want people to shut the fuck up.
So the director of this film is Robert Rodriguez.
Mm.
He has 52 credits as a director on IMDb. Average score of 56, which is actually
That's
pretty
good, man. That's a really good score for a director.
A wild range of films.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Wow.
just insane.
Yeah. Well, it shows here in that his highest score is Grindhouse with 77, and his lowest score is Spy Kids All the Time in the World with, I think it was 28.
I think he did a couple of those Spy Kids
He
movies,
did.
didn't he? Yeah.
Danny
Yeah.
Trejo's in
Yeah.
it as well.
Yeah, so Spy Kids All the Time in the World, I believe, is one of the sequels. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, they declined in quality, apparently. Yeah, so quite a disparity in the audiences that he's aiming for between Grindhouse and Spy Kids. So he's had quite the career.
Mm.
From Dusk Till Dawn, in terms of where his ladder is, sits just below, prepare your body, Duff, Predators on 51.
Yeah, I love Predators.
And just above Sin City, A Dame to Kill For on 46.
Dame to Kill For, that's the second one, yeah?
Yeah, it was
that's fair.
crap.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yep. Sorry.
I hated it. I'm not too not afraid to say it.
Yeah. I didn't like the second Sin City. There's a reason why there's no number 3.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I hated it.
I hated it.
Okay.
Yeah,
You're allowed
disliked it for several reasons. It's not on my list, and I'll be angry if it's on anyone else's. So he has got a little bit of an interesting story about how he got started. So referring back again, we did Kevin Smith, and we did a bit about his origin story. Robert Rodriguez, he found his passion for filmmaking when he was in high school. They asked him to film the local high school football team.
Yeah.
But he got fired after a couple of weeks because he was doing it really artistically. And he was spending too long filming the parents' reactions and long shots of the ball flying through the air and not enough of the action. So they fired him, but he got the bug for filmmaking.
Yeah.
And he got sort of his artistic style with his angles and all that sort of stuff sort of coming through. He got the attention of the filmmaking world as such when he was still really young, and he made a horror short called Bedhead. It won some awards at regional film festivals in 1991. And then that encouraged him to go on to make his next short, which was his breakthrough one, which was a movie called El Mariachi. Spanish language action
so it was
film.
originally a short?
No, so he did a short.
El Mariachi's
it's a regular movie. Yeah. So he did his short, Bedhead. And then
I have the El Mariachi Desperado double pack on DVD.
Oh, really?
Yeah, where the cover's split down the middle.
I've got the Desperado once a time in Mexico.
Oh, they did a double of that.
Yeah.
Who's the star of Desperado?
Johnny Depp. Jared Leto. Antonio Banderas.
He is.
Speaking of sexy, not sexual. So he made himself a little Spanish language action film in 1992 called El Mariachi. He made it for $7,000.
Cool.
And it grossed $2.6 million at the box office.
It looks way better than $7,000.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it for a long time. It's probably dated now. But you never watched it?
No. And it shocked everyone, I'm sure. And it won the Audience Award at Sundance Film Festival.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was that breakthrough. That's a breakthrough right there.
Sure.
So that is considered the first in, as you guys are saying, his trilogy, which includes Desperado from 95 and Once Upon a Time in Mexico in 2003.
Love that movie.
I'm a Desperado guy over Once Upon a Time.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Love Desperado.
Yeah, Desperados.
Once Upon a Time gets a little sillier.
Yeah,
I have to rewatch it to remember, but yeah.
It's Mickey Rourke with a chihuahua. What's the hate about it?
Mickey Rourke, yeah.
Did he give it mouth-to-mouth for 45 minutes?
I fucking despise Johnny Depp, as we all know.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Did you not?
No.
I've been very vocal about it for 20 years. You haven't been listening to a word I've been saying.
You were ahead of the curve there, too, because it's only recently the rest of the world's caught up with you on that one. But
I still like him.
Nah, never thought he was any good.
No.
He peaked with 21 Jump Street.
What about Fear and Loathing?
I don't want to talk about it until we do the podcast.
I don't remember him from 21 Jump Street. With Channing Tatum and Jonah Hill?
No, the TV show. Right, actually cameoed in it, I'm pretty sure. But anyway,
Richard Grieco.
We digress.
Our mate Robert Rodriguez, he earned the $7,000 it cost to make Mariachi. He largely made it by subjecting himself to experimental drug studies.
Shit.
For money, which I didn't realise was a thing.
Is that still a thing?
So one of the drugs he sampled was something called a speed healer. And he still has 2 divots in his arms as a result of where they removed the samples.
Fuck.
Yeah.
What the hell?
But it was worth it. He made $7,000 and it was his breakthrough movie. So
would have been better off just selling the drugs.
Just being a speed dealer rather than speed healer.
Well done.
Zing. So he followed from Dusk Till Dawn straight away with Desperado, and it carries over quite a few of the cast, which we mentioned before. He tends to do that quite a lot. The other 2 little, I'm calling them titty bits, as a shout out to Titty Twister.
Titty Twister.
You like that?
Yeah, that was good.
Titty bits.
The titty bits that I liked about Robert Rodriguez. He directed, uncredited, but he directed the scenes in Pulp Fiction that Quentin Tarantino acts in. So, Quentin's... I'm with you. So
he's on screen, someone else
is
is
behind the camera,
yeah.
so he just called Robert in to do that.
Oh,
So
that's
he's
cool.
an uncredited
cool.
director on the best movie of all time.
There you go.
And he's an accomplished chef.
Oh.
Yeah, I saw an episode not that long ago of him on John Favreau's got a show.
Oh, I've watched a lot of that.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
actually
Robert
really good.
Rodriguez on it.
Yeah, you should watch it. It's really, really good.
I've watched
it's really
maybe 3 or 4 eps. Yeah, it's a good show.
It seems like a good egg.
Mm.
They just got a good rapport.
I'll check it out. I'll have a
enjoyed
look tonight.
Yeah. And as we're saying, he's made a lot of movies. He may or may not come up again.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any particular Robert Rodriguez titty bits? Thoughts?
I don't do any research, but I love Rodriguez.
Talk from the heart.
Okay, I fucking love Predators. Predators is a great movie. I've touched on that already, so I'm not going to go into it. But yeah, I love Desperado. I love Once Upon a Time in Mexico. I love what he's about. I don't particularly like Planet Terror.
Yeah.
That's not for me.
Yep.
But I love Rodriguez. I think he's very good.
Yeah, sure. I like a lot of his work. Yeah.
Recent
I
Rodriguez?
haven't seen some of his stuff, like the like Lava Girl and all that sort of shit that he's done. I haven't watched all that because it's kid stuff.
So weird. That
I'm sure I will watch it over the next few years with a
Maybe he's one of those directors
Kids,
that
yeah.
like to challenge himself. Maybe I could do a kid's
I think he
movie.
wanted to do stuff his kids could watch.
All right.
I'm not a fan of the Disney Plus TV shows like Mandalorian, Boba Fett, and that sort of stuff. But I know he's got a hand in them.
Yeah.
I think he did a couple of episodes of Mandalorian, and now he's doing most of Boba Fett.
All of Boba Fett.
That's enough. Like, this, how much I like him is it's probably enough for me to go and check that out, even though I know it's not really for me.
It's John Favreau and
so I kind of go, it's going to be pretty good.
Yeah, it is.
Even if I don't
It is.
particularly like the content. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like their style.
That's
you don't have to be a massive Star Wars fan to like Boba Fett.
I quite like Star Wars.
Yeah.
I just don't like the general tone of those Disney Plus shows. But hey.
Yeah, no, they're very, very good because of the talent that's involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, they really back it up.
Check it out.
Should
I'll
we
report back.
Yeah, please do. Please do. Score out of 100, as is our want on this podcast. Should we move on to some of the cast?
Yeah, go on then.
George Clooney. Heard of him?
Yeah, he's the doctor, right?
Yeah. He's the fucking ridiculously good-looking man in the Nescafe ads.
Yeah.
You know the guy?
Yeah.
If you could swap lives with someone for a day, how high on the list is George Clooney?
Like number 71.
Really?
Yeah.
He'd be top 10.
Right.
Yeah, he'd be top 10 for me.
Wesley Snipes, number 1, Duff?
What? No.
Out of prison, Wesley Snipes, obviously.
Yes.
Yeah,
You guys prepare that little bit earlier?
He'd be pretty high on the list. I just thought of that just then. I thought, you know what? Yeah, he'd be pretty high.
Yeah.
One of the Beastie Boys, not the dead one, probably one of 2 live Beastie Boys. Or George Clooney would be pretty high for me. Brad Pitt.
I've always liked George Clooney's work.
Yeah,
I've always liked him in stuff.
He seems like a fun hang too.
Yeah.
Out of Sight's one of my favourite movies.
Great movie. Yeah.
Obviously, the Oceans movies.
Love the Oceans.
Yeah.
Oceans 11 and 13 are very good.
Yeah. He had
Such a bag of shit. Carry on.
Had such a presence in this movie. Like, as we were saying before, he'd been toiling away for a little while, doing various TV shows and whatnot. This was a breakthrough, and you can see why, right?
Yeah, surprising, though, that he didn't get more roles like this.
Yeah.
He didn't really. Like, what else has he done where he's like this menacing, like...
Yeah, true. Yeah, he's tips.
Because he was so good in it.
Yeah.
And this is obviously what, as you said, like, this is his breakthrough. This is how he's going to build a whole career. Well, he probably built it off ER, but he's going to build a whole movie career off this movie.
Well, he did.
And no further roles are like this character.
82 credits on IMDb.
Yeah.
And a lot of them are going back, like, he was in... like Return of the Killer Tomatoes in like the late 80s.
Oh, really?
So he was
toiling
away for a while.
Trying.
Yeah. Ironically and confusingly, he's been in a comedy from the 80s called ER and a hospital drama from the 90s called ER.
Very confusing.
That shouldn't be allowed.
No.
That should be allowed. Like, you're perfect for the role, but you're in this other thing.
How many Batmans was he in?
One.
Oh, is that all?
The
and
worst.
Ruined the whole thing.
Which one was it? Batman.
I'm
Batman
confused.
And
Nobody
Robin.
gets
Batman and
it.
Robin.
So he got
gone.
that on the back of this. So he got that not long after. So
Poor bastard.
it's dragged his score down. He's got an average score of 63. Which is actually
that's
really
high.
Yeah.
Well, he's been on a tear the last 5 years or so. He makes very critically acclaimed films.
He does. He's a critical
very
darling.
intellectual.
Yeah,
and
he makes what he wants now.
He probably sends him some coffee pods as well.
He's writing and directing and all sorts now.
Yeah. Ridiculously talented. I actually hate him now that I think about it. What a fucking way. Anyway, his highest score is 96, which I was surprised to see was for Gravity.
Oh, I was going to say it'd be that.
Gravity's 96.
Up in the air, was it?
Yeah, Up in the Air was up there, but Gravity 96.
Gravity's 96.
Almost universally acclaimed.
Crazy.
Yeah, it's good. I thought it was okay.
Really good.
I
I loved it. Yeah.
I'm on the okay scale.
Yeah.
Wasn't it a bit of a feat in terms of the way it was shot? I think that was one of the things.
Yeah, they sent Sandra Bullock to space.
Fuck.
Yeah, she hasn't come back yet.
They did that with.
I didn't see much feat.
They did that with Tyrese and Ludacris in Fast 9. They're not getting 96.
Luda!
Yeah, so I'm shocked to see that so high. He's got a lowest score of 7. This is a real kick in the dick for poor old George because he got a score of 7 for a movie called Grizzly 2 Revenge. And it's got down as it was released in 2020, and you're like, why has he gone? But it was made in 1983.
Yeah.
So someone sat on that. He probably didn't pay the ransom.
I think I've seen
Oh,
some.
they
Those text
just
messages you
released
get
it.
that say, I caught you masturbating and I released the video unless you pay. So they were like, we've got the video of Grizzly 2. We'll release it. And
he'll
he said-
go release the
He
master-
called their bluff and they fucking put it out there. And now he's got a 7.
15-part series on that.
Yeah.
Just me.
If I had more time, I'd take the 7 out of the equation and find out. Like, he probably jumps up to an average of 67.
Grizzly 2 is in like Grizzly Bears?
Grizzly Bear, yeah.
Okay, I'll
He's
have-
a young bloke and he
I'll have a
fight. Yeah,
look.
the
I think I've
campers get
seen
mauled by a grizzly bear.
Great.
Yeah.
I'll have a look.
Yeah.
I've
He's
seen
got
that.
7.
I love creature movies.
I
You've got a lot of time on your hands.
love creature movies.
I'll find it. I'll watch it.
Yeah.
And Dusk Till Dawn sits in between The Good German with 49.
Sorry, just before you go on, if anyone out there does want a good Grizzly movie,
Go on.
there's one called
The Edge.
The Edge is great.
Yeah.
Into the Grizzly Maze with John Marston. Quite good.
Into the grizzly maze.
Yeah.
It's not for
good.
me.
It's quite good.
It's not.
Did the grizzly make the maze?
No, it's just
The grizzly makes the corn
Teamed up with the beavers?
referencing the woods and the forest.
Joke's on you. There's no exit. Ho, ho, ho.
I've got my top 10 Grizzly movies if you want me to.
It's one of the tabs on his spreadsheet that he's got in. Yeah, no. And just above The Peacemaker, which was the movie I remember with Nicole Kidman in it that was forgettable as fuck.
Yeah, very forgettable because I reckon picture the cover of it.
Yeah,
I've definitely seen it, but I've no fucking idea.
In a Running Man
it's an action shot. Yeah,
no fucking idea.
He said, "I want to do the Tom Cruise," and they said, "Run."
Arms wide.
The next.
Well done, you did it.
Yeah. So he only has, out of all those movies, he only has 9 under 50.
Shit.
Out of 83 credits or whatever.
Credits.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's huge, considering a lot of those would have been those early on ones.
Yeah, and he got stung by the fucking surprise release of Grizzly 2. Jeez, he would have been pissed off.
Fuck, you guys promised me.
If only you could go back, we'd all be watching him masturbate right now.
Do you reckon he was checking his bank statement and he's like, what's this 50 cents I got as royalties for this movie called Grizzly 2? That's how he found out about its release. Damn it. He has 18 movies over 70 on Metacritic.
How many over 80? That's the real test.
It was
isn't it?
half of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's half of 15? 7.
Half of 18.
Half of 18.
So
9. That's it's a pod record.
Yeah, it's really up there.
We have that was Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
he had 8, I think.
Yeah, he had a really but he had 500 credits, dude. Like
Yeah,
he's
yeah,
never
true.
said no
Yeah,
to
yeah.
fucking anything. So
He was in Grizzly Maze too.
wrote and directed and starred. He was
played the grizzly bear.
I thought it was Jared Leto.
He played the cornfield.
So he did largely bad TV work in movies prior to that. He was still doing ER when this filmed, and he did it for a couple of years after that.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Doctors can't take holidays.
Yeah. Especially now. I salute our first responders. And he did. This was his first real feature film starring role. Then his next one was the massive flop, as we said, Batman and Robin. That was 97.
Could have derailed his whole career.
It could, but he did in 1998. He did Out of Sight.
And
Shit.
that was...
I gave him another chance.
Yeah,
It's a stunning movie. What scored that guy?
that was in the 80s.
Yeah,
that was
it's
right up
fucking
there.
very
It's the
good.
Jennifer Lopez one.
Yeah.
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 I'll have
So-
to revisit that. I haven't seen it for a long time.
I think it's really good. I think it's a little bit overrated. I don't say that about a lot of things, but because it's become this name check movie, like we're saying about Almost Famous or whatever, where it's almost referenced as a name check as this great role, and got to mention how sexy Lopez is in it and the simmering tension between the two of them.
Yeah.
Gobble, gobble.
There really was. But it's just a good movie. It's just well done in all aspects, but it's not that great.
I'll have another look.
But I would have thought that's always referenced as his big breakout too. Like whenever you hear him talk about Clooney, they talk about Out of Sight as his breakthrough. But I can't believe this wasn't.
This is definitely his breakthrough.
He's so good in this movie, and he's so
outstanding.
different to the Doctor that he plays in ER. That he should have just ascended from. I guess he did. He got Batman, right?
Yeah, which is someone's noticed that.
Yeah,
It
give him
just
the cash
that
out to
particular
kick off
Batman was a piece of shit.
Yeah, it was just a shitty movie.
If Nolan was 10 years earlier and then grabbed Clooney to do the Nolan Batman films, all of a
now
sudden
you're
it's
talking.
the greatest. Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah.
It's just
That'd be
he just
legit.
got the shit Batman movie.
Yeah,
I think he did well with Christian Bale, though.
yeah, you're
Oh,
right.
of course.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah, don't get me wrong.
No, I've got you wrong.
And he got paid $250,000 for this part.
That's fair enough. Couldn't Tarantino movie, you take whatever.
Shit, I would have thought he'd be fucking getting paid more.
I mentioned
than
that
to do
'cause
an episode of ER at the time.
We're always speculating about what people got paid. We've actually got it for
You
once.
got the numbers,
250 grand out of 19 million.
Makes you think how lowly paid other stars of those 90s movies
What
were.
does Sex Machine get?
Harvey would have got a couple of mil.
Would he?
Oh, yeah.
A couple
Harvey
of mil by
Keitel.
then?
Yeah. Well, Harvey Keitel is my next on the list.
Do you know how much he got?
No,
Okay.
but whatever he asked for.
Yeah.
Because no one argues with fucking Harvey Keitel.
Well, they do, and he takes his glasses off, and then they don't.
Just like I wanted him to read my obituary. Like he's just got the cadence, the delivery, but he needs to be on a hologram. Like he needs to appear above my casket, and
So keep going. I'm
want
just
to
taking notes about what you want.
it's a freestyle rap.
Freestyle rap from
By
Harvey
Harvey
Keitel.
Keitel,
By
yeah.
Harvey Keitel.
Yeah.
Hologram. Yep.
I'll give you some
Got it.
keywords to work in there later on.
Yep.
He's been working since the 1800s. Like he's just been
Yeah.
around forever. He's carved out of granite and he's never going to age. He has 163 credits as an actor on IMDb.
Shit.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and out of that, he still has an average score of 57.
That's incredible.
That's wild.
Yeah. His highest score is from a movie called Mean Streets from 1973.
I've heard of it but never seen it.
Yeah,
As I said, I'm not a
96.
film historian.
Yeah, no. You got to hire a Betamax to watch that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Still got the remote control with a cord on it. So you have to watch it if you want to really immerse yourself in the experience. I did put here as well that it just pips Taxi Driver, which is 94.
Yeah, that's
Because he's so good in that. His lowest score is a really old movie also. It's called Saturn III from 1980.
No idea.
Nah, never heard of it. From Dusk Till Dawn sits in between Sister Act with 51.
Very good.
So I'm sure you guys are bummed that doesn't qualify because we all love a good Whoopi Goldberg chat. And it's above National Treasure, Book of Secrets.
Oh, wow.
48. Make a note of that. Put an asterisk. Yeah.
Number 2?
Yeah, not bad.
I love them all.
Actually,
I'm
not angry about
It's all
that.
about adventure.
I'll talk about it if you want me to. I'm happy to. Just like he was one of those actors that when I was first becoming aware of actual cool movies in my the mid 90s and teens and whatnot, he just seemed to pop up in every fucking cool movie.
In the cool movies.
Yeah, I just thought this guy's the coolest guy. Like for me, he was in Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, cool shit.
He's the coolest person in movie history in Pulp Fiction, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like he's just the coolest motherfucker in the world. Bad Lieutenant.
Yeah,
It's a fucked up movie.
Yeah, that is. Yeah. And as I said, he was in Taxi Driver. He did Clockers, it's a Spike Lee movie.
Yeah.
Red Dragon.
Yeah, that's right.
U571.
Yeah,
I love
ooh,
you.
yeah.
Great
We
film.
talked about
Sub-movie.
that. We love that movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good sub-movie.
And Copland, which is a forgotten movie which people should
Sylvester
revisit.
Stallone.
It's a really
That's
good
a
movie.
Yeah,
really
it's
good
good.
film.
Yeah, it's gritty as hell, but I'd sort of forgotten about it, and I need to put that on the rewatch list with fucking every of these movies. I'll get there. So, Titty Bits for Harvey Keitel.
Titty Bits. Yep.
Titty Bits. He co-produced Reservoir Dogs, which I didn't know.
I did during the opening credits.
Oh, really?
Yeah, carry
I
on.
don't watch the credits. This makes a lot of sense when you know it. He served as a Marine for 3 years.
Shit.
Yeah, I could see that.
He went to Lebanon, so he
Fuck.
served. Yeah.
So he's real.
Yeah, he's seen some shit, man. He's
Okay.
been deep in the shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on that note, actually deep in the shit, he was actually originally cast as Captain Willard in Apocalypse Now, but they filmed scenes with him, and 2 weeks in they sacked him for creative differences with Francis Ford Coppola.
Oh,
Okay.
wow.
And they brought in Martin Sheen.
Wow, what a...
Sheen got paid in cocaine.
Is that
and
true?
I don't know. Probably I haven't seen Heart of Darkness for a while, but
I could
yeah,
get
they,
into that movie.
that's
for you.
good. That's
yeah,
got some
that's
stories.
a 7-hour podcast.
Wonder what that scored. That'd be pretty high.
Yeah.
And just as the other titty bit that I thought was interesting about him, he starred in the feature film debuts of Martin Scorsese, Quentin Tarantino, and Ridley Scott.
Holy shit.
Wow, hey.
I suppose when you make 163 movies over 7 decades, you're probably going to pop up here and
Yeah,
there.
so-
Right?
Oh, yeah, but they're three.
Harvey
of the-
Keitel's getting some cash.
They're
Yeah.
three of the biggest directors of all time. They're probably
their
3 in the top
debuts.
10 of all time. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's been
Crazy.
in the debuts.
You
Yeah,
guys
great.
got a favourite Keitel at all?
Probably, well, yeah, Pulp Fiction, I
Yeah,
guess.
Pulp
yeah.
Fiction. It has to be
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
Yeah,
It's great.
that's the right answer. Let's move
Yeah.
on. Speaking of Pulp Fiction, Quentin Tarantino.
Mm.
So I kind of don't want to go too far into Quentin Tarantino, the director.
Great segue.
Yeah, fucking nailing this podcast.
Yeah, killing it.
Getting good at this. We could be here for 4 hours if we went on about Quentin Tarantino, the director, too much.
You can't do it.
So specifically as an actor, he has 38 credits.
Fuck. I wouldn't
Yeah.
know. You could have told me,
Yeah.
asked me, and I would have said 10.
I'd like to just point out again, you just have to pop up in the background of a movie to get
Yeah,
a credit
yeah,
on IMDb. Check me out, look me up. So he does a lot of just popping up in his mates' movies. You know. He's actually has an average. Unfortunately, the average on Metacritic includes his directorial credits. So,
Yep.
and I just don't have the time to sort that shit out.
Yeah,
so,
yeah,
64, which
Okay,
I thought would
that's-
probably be a bit higher.
Yeah, it's a lot of credits, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Is this his biggest role?
Yes.
As in the longest screen
Yeah,
time?
I think
and-
so.
Yeah, by quite a way. Yeah,
Yeah,
this
okay.
is when his real friends had a few drinks and said to him,
Yeah.
"Quentin, mate,
Yeah, but he's good.
He's
I know I
great.
said it before.
No,
I reckon he's really good
he
at
is
it.
I think
good.
he's really
But
good.
they're like, you've peaked, man."
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
you've
think
maxed out.
because he wrote the character, he would know exactly what emotions he's supposed to be portraying
Yeah.
while playing it.
Yeah,
It's
it
weird.
probably helps.
He's not doing that. Oh, what's my motivation? thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yeah, he knows the
not like in
motivation.
Django Unchained, where he's just the worst.
Yeah, he's
really ruined the movie.
this is, and a lot of people say that about Pulp Fiction.
Mm.
I don't agree.
I think he was okay.
He was okay in Pulp Fiction.
He's
Okay.
all right. Yeah, because Harvey Keitel was on screen for most
Yeah.
of the time. So
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah.
You're
can't
going
go
to watch
too
it
far.
because Quentin's on it.
His lowest score, Quentin. His lowest score, Quentin.
Quentin with an E.
I'll just call him Mr. Tarantino.
Oh,
Fuck
so you fucking should, Sir Tarantino, your lordship. His lowest score is She's Funny That Way with 45. From Dusk Till Dawn sits in between. Desperado only got 55. I was shocked to see that.
Yep.
And She's Funny That Way as well,
Yeah.
45. He did write this, as we mentioned earlier. This was actually his first paid scriptwriting gig.
Right, okay.
So,
Because it wasn't his original story, was it?
no, so the guy who wrote the treatment, the story, was actually a guy who worked for a visual effects company called K&B. his name was Robert Kurtzman. He wrote the basic outline. He gave it to Quentin, who agreed to Quentin.
Thank you,
Mr. Tarantino.
He gave it to Mr. Tarantino, who agreed to write it for the small sum of 15 G's, but as long as that company, that visual effects company, agreed to do the work on Reservoir Dogs for him as well. So it's sort of like a contra deal there. Yeah. However, the $1,500 was enough for him to quit his job at the video store and have a crack at Hollywood full time. So this kind of kicked him off. This is a kind of well-known titty bit, but I'm going to bring it up anyway. I think it's pretty cool. The famous and often quoted Ezekiel 25:17 speech from Pulp Fiction originally appeared in this script.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, and then for whatever reason it was cut, and he
reused it.
Worked out okay.
Iconic line in bloody Pulp Fiction.
I think Samuel L. Jackson's pretty stoked with the way that turned out.
Shit.
Yeah. And the only other thing I sort of wanted to mention was, have you heard about his foot fetish?
No.
So there's an
in-joke.
I'm wondering whether it came from this movie. Because there's some foot action.
There's a lot of foot action.
I fucking hate feet.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm grossed out by feet.
I'm neither here nor there with feet.
Look, I understand they're necessary. I just don't like the aesthetics. Like, if they weren't so necessary, I'd probably have mine removed.
I'd rather have scrotum on the bottom of my legs than feet.
Old scrote foot.
Old scrote legs walking down the street. I hate feet.
Would hear you coming.
Yeah. How would you wear scrotums in a font? Carry on.
So... It's when you know that he supposedly loves feet, and apparently there's some Uma Thurman foot stuff that goes on.
Yeah, big time in Kill Bill.
Yeah. There's a real lingering shot on Juliet Lewis's foot when he's first starting to go down the rabbit hole of.
Then there's another foot.
And you can't tell me that he didn't write that Salma Hayek is going to pour whiskey down her inner leg and have it run down her foot into my mouth scene. Yeah. And do you reckon he fucked it up deliberately? He'd be like, cut.
Yeah, do it again.
Again from the top.
Yeah.
If I was one of those guys who had to sit back and be quiet in that bar, I'd just cough. Sorry, Salma. Roll it back. So I don't know. I'd like to know whether the foot fetish stuff sort of was just people making a rumor up based on what happened in this movie. Or
it's pretty prominent just in this movie alone. Massively and then you think of the other times in his movies.
And then Kill Bill, it's pretty prominent.
Yeah.
Everyone's got their thing. Just do it at home.
Yeah.
And it's fine by me. Do your thing.
Unless he's playing up to a rumor, maybe.
Possibly, yeah. Oh, that would be fun. Like, if you were famous, you'd troll the fuck out of people.
Yeah. Well, I heard the new Richard Gere movie, he's literally got a gerbil in his ass. Just a gerbil tail hangs out of it.
Well, I heard he put a cat up there to get the gerbil out.
So it's a cat's tail hanging out.
There's a cat, a gerbil, and a dog.
Yeah, right.
Look, I'll be looking for that one on Netflix. No, I hate Richard Gere.
Yeah, so do I.
I'm a big animal lover, though, so I might be interested.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. Gerbils got to unionise. They can't be treated like that.
What's gerbils? Are the hamster?
Yeah, it's a hamster.
Yeah, I could fit one on them.
Juliet Lewis.
Mm-hmm.
I am a big Juliet Lewis guy. Yeah. Speaking about Harvey Keitel.
She's very similar-ish in everything she does. Like but that's okay because it's kind of... she's cool. Yeah.
I loved her in Old School.
Yes. I've got down here that she... Range-wise, like she's got 99 credits. Get another one. Just get a round number. That kind of annoys me, but that's just me being a pendant.
Yeah.
I'll give it another 6 months.
Yeah. 99 credits on IMDb and a really big range. And again, she's one of those people that cropped up in all this cool shit. Like when I was first sort of becoming more aware of what was going on in movies.
She's in one of my favorite movies, California.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a really good movie.
Yeah. So her highest score is Husbands and Wives with 84, and her lowest is a movie called Mixed Nuts with 14, and they're both from the early 90s.
I've seen either.
Neither of them.
Yeah, me neither. This movie is in between National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, which, wait for it, 49.
Oh, wow. Very good.
I'm not saying, just saying.
Yeah.
And a movie called Metropa, which was 47.
Don't know what I
More importantly, as we were saying, in a run for me, she was in Cape Fear.
Yep.
For which she got an Oscar nomination. Very confused by her performance in that, in terms of like the way it made me feel as a young man. Natural Born Killers, just that stone cold classic, written by Quentin Tarantino, and she is just unreal in that.
Yeah.
California, Strange Days, and this.
Yeah, she had a good run.
Yeah.
Strange Days, is that sci-fi one?
It's
really
weird.
That's good.
Yeah. Something I haven't seen for a very long time. But another one that I was like, shit, I need to revisit that.
Yeah.
I haven't got the score written down here. Was really high, a surprisingly high-ranking film on Metacritic. In terms of, she was a little bit typecast. She does play kind of a similar role, but what I reckon she was the best at doing that I can remember of that era and that sort of thing was playing within that role. She could be vulnerable, sexy, and a total fucking badass, and she does all that in this movie as well.
Yeah,
and she does that really well. So
Yeah,
she's got
good.
range within that that lane. if you
Well,
know what I mean.
I think when I say she's similar-ish, I think it's because she is so unique that you kind of know it's Juliet. So it doesn't matter what character she's playing; it's always a piece of Juliet Lewis in it, and that's why. Yeah. So when you say she's got range, she does. When you say it like that,
It's like a
she's a really great performer.
I love her.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm really big fan.
dull girl next door with a bit of an edge.
Yeah.
I think that's
And she's got this kind of unique kind of voice and the way she talks.
She's got that delivery. Yeah,
Yeah.
and that helps her comedically as well.
Yep,
So
for sure.
like she's in some of she's in Old School, as you said.
Cute.
Whip It.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Starsky
I
and
like
Hutch, and of course she was in National Lampoons. I remember from National Lampoons as well. And she comes across a little bit different on screen because she's a little bit different.
Yeah, she seems quirky.
She's absolutely quirky, legitimately quirky, and pretty fucking rad from what I know. I listened to her on a podcast a little while ago. She was on Toby Morse's podcast, and really interesting story. She was one of 8 children, really bohemian childhood.
Yeah, I could see that.
They encouraged all the artistic side and all that sort of thing,
Yeah.
and musically, and that's why she's in a band called Juliet and the Licks.
Yeah.
Who are good, legitimately.
Is it good, is it?
Yeah, I
don't
saw
know
them
if I've
once.
heard
Yeah,
of them
yeah.
before. Did they have a song or songs on the Whip It soundtrack? I feel like they did.
Don't know.
I feel like that's maybe how I know them. But anyway.
I'm not saying that I own any of their albums,
Yeah.
but I made an effort to go and see them at a festival when they're playing, and she goes for it, man.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
she's a good performer.
Yeah, wicked.
They're
Does she sing?
raw. Yeah, she
She
sings.
sings,
Yeah, and she's a whaler.
She hunts whales.
No, she wails.
That's another
She
interesting
made it
thing
up,
about her.
Yeah, she's an animal lover who hunts whales. It's really weird. Yeah. And the other thing I found interesting about her, she was actually she was a Scientologist for a long time. She's not anymore. She's lapsed. But she credits Scientology for she credits that particular cult for helping her kick a decades-long drug habit.
Oh, wow.
So she was, when she went off the rails a little bit in the 90s there, after she just looked like she was on a heater, she kind of went a little bit awry, and it was because she was partying too much.
Good for her.
Yeah. So that's a quick run through the cast. The other guys who made appearances, we mentioned our boy Danny Trejo.
Yep. Same. Do a 10-hour podcast on Danny Trejo.
Yeah.
And I will.
Everything is better with Danny Trejo.
Love Danny.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah, and he's great in this. Cheech.
Yeah.
Yeah. As I said, interesting to see Cheech. I sort of remember him from the jokes that would go around at high school, the old Cheech and Chong. They had their particular lane that they hung in.
Yeah, it's sure did.
Yeah, he's
Still
not
hanging in.
Yeah, he's really not a great actor.
Yeah,
but he's decent in this movie. And that sort of wraps up the talk of the cast and and that sort of stuff.
That's good.
So that brings us to the point of the podcast where you guys give us your closing thoughts. Ken,
I'm going first, am I?
wax lyrical, buddy.
All right. So
change my mind, Ken, because I'm on the fence here. Change my mind. Yeah, I'm
How
on the
could you
fence.
allow me to change your mind then? So it's kind of we kind of went on it before. It's 2 different movies, right? Mm-hmm. And the first half is just this really tense crime thriller, perfectly written, perfectly shot. It's fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. And a small part of me goes, fuck, I just want to see that fucking movie. I want to see that for 2 hours, right? And not the vampires. But I've seen that movie before. I've seen it many times before. That crime thriller, they're on the run, that sort of thing. So even though this was going to be a particularly good version of that, it's kind of been done. So the other part of me goes, no, it's fucking awesome that they didn't do that. It's fucking awesome that they got these like vampires and they look ridiculous and all of a sudden it's just this wild B movie and vampires are melting in the floor and there's someone with a cross and a shotgun and a baseball bat, like all the shit we spoke about.
Crotch gun.
It turns it from this crime crotch gun turns it from this crime thriller into this like just a fuckload of fun B movie. And I think that's why I said before I can watch it every kind of few years because of that. It's like if it was just that crime thriller, I'd be like, I know how this plays out. And it's not that fun. It's kind of dark and whatever.
It's weirdly fun.
Yeah. I could put this on again in 3 weeks' time from now and still enjoy it. I'd still kind of have a smile on my face for the back half of it going, this is just fucking ridiculous and I'm having a good time at the movies, guys. And that's what it's all about, right?
Yeah.
So as long as you understand going into this, as long as you understand and appreciate that the second half of this movie is meant to be the way it is, It's meant to look ridiculous. It's meant to be over the top. Yes, the CGI shit. Yes, the makeup's overdone. Yes, it's fucking stupidly gory.
Crotch gun.
Crotch gun.
Crotch gun.
As long as you get all that and you're in on it, then it's fucking great.
Yep.
And I give it 70.
Nice.
Wow.
Bang. Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
For me, you haven't changed my mind.
Okay, sorry.
For me, what you said, the first half of the movie, I like to be entertained, and I found...
Not above being entertained myself.
I found that part of the movie was more entertaining than the back half. Like, the vampires don't appear for the first 50 minutes.
Yeah.
And what that 50 minutes goes so quick.
Yeah.
I would happily sit there and watch a 2-hour movie with just Quentin Tarantino and George Clooney on the run.
Yeah.
Like, I would watch that movie. When they go to the vampires, I get it. I know what it is. I get why it's taken this turn, and it is like a double feature, like you said. Unfortunately for me, I don't really like that bit. I like the actors that are there. I like the interaction between George and Harvey Keitel. But once again, I like George Clooney in this movie. I don't necessarily like the movie.
Yeah.
I like everything George says, like just about the respect thing.
It's got great dialogue.
The way he talks to everyone.
I had a wife.
And it's amazing. And really good as Quentin Tarantino. When he dies... I don't feel anything afterwards.
Yeah.
So, like, I want to watch Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I thought his character was awesome. It was creepy as shit.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's creepy as shit.
Yeah.
But I wanted to see the dynamic those two had in the car.
Yeah. Fair.
Like, the way they talk to each other.
Absolutely.
The way he knows he's a fucking nutcase. The bit in the RV.
Yeah.
I want to see that movie.
Yeah. Where he knocks him out.
Yeah.
Fuck, that was good. Yeah.
Like going into Mexico, maybe running from a drug cartel that double cross them or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me that.
Yeah.
Because
It would be a great movie.
Yeah.
I want to
can't
watch
disagree.
that. And with Quentin Tarantino's writing, it's going to be good.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they went the other way, which credit to them. They gave it a good go.
Brave.
Yeah.
Very brave.
Yeah.
So for me, what I did was I separated them into two movies.
Yeah.
So for the George Clooney and Quentin Tarantino a romp at the start, I gave it a 60.
Yeah.
But if I kept on watching that movie, it would definitely go up. For the vampire bits, I love vampire movies. I don't love this one. For the vampire, the second half of the movie, I can't get past the putty face vampires. I can see.
You're not in on it.
Salma Hayek. Yeah, I can get that.
Yeah.
I get Danny Trejo. I get Cheech Marin. But no, for me, I didn't like the second half of the movie. I gave it a 30.
Right.
So if I combine those scores,
90.
I give it a score of 92.
Pop quiz.
So 60, 30.
45.
Right.
I'm giving it a 45.
Fuck, you've really turned into the Russian judge.
Yeah, it's weird, yeah.
Why do you hate movies all
I
the
just
time?
love this movie. It's right up my alley. But
Yeah.
when I was younger, I loved it.
Yeah.
But watching it now, I was like, oh,
Do you know what? You've laid out your rationale, and I
get it.
Yeah.
It's because the
Yeah.
first half is
Yeah.
so good.
I couldn't get past how good
Yeah.
it was. And because I haven't seen it in such a long time, I was fucking right in from the opening credits. I was like, oh, yeah, this
Yeah, yeah,
movie.
yeah.
And then I was kind of dreading when the vampire bit came because I knew it was coming.
Yeah.
But I would just want to see what happens if it took a different angle without vampires.
Yeah.
And it was just...
Or you get another crime thriller.
Yeah, and I love crime
Yeah.
films.
Oh, don't. Yeah, they are great.
Do you reckon people that watch Heat go, oh, man, I wish they started doing vampires?
There's just some werewolves in this.
The Val Kilmer attacking a fucking werewolf. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
And I agree with you wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Al Pacino would be a fucking great vampire, though.
So, unfortunately, I'm nailing it to the cross.
Yeah.
It's with a heavy hammer I nail it
Yeah.
because I don't want to. It's a heavy fucking hammer. But
It's with a spike that you put into a
Yeah,
pneumatic drill.
yeah. Unfortunately,
Well done.
I'm
Good
crunch
reference.
gunning this right to the face and
Yeah.
45. Bang.
Okay.
You know what? Like, this is interesting because, or hopefully it's interesting to anyone listening. And
I'm bored.
Ken's take is more aligned with what I feel now,
Yeah.
like when I rewatched it. And Duff's take is how I felt about this from memory historically.
Oh, shit.
So I was at a point...
Why'd you choose the movie then?
Because I still really enjoyed it.
Okay,
I
right,
still
yeah.
really enjoyed it. Shocked to see it was below 50, actually. I
Yeah.
was super stoked when I saw it would make the list. But I remember the very last time I watched it, and I watched it quite a lot over the first 10 years of its existence or whatever, I felt like Duff. Like, I thought, fuck, and because I'm not a gore guy and I'm not necessarily a supernatural horror kind of dude,
Yeah.
I am.
I was relatively bored
Yeah.
by the second half.
Okay.
This time, not so much. I did enjoy it.
Yeah.
I think I knew to take the grain of salt with me this time. I knew that it was going to be. I was still a little shocked by the extent of some of the gore. I'm not going to lie, just fucking oceans of blood. But it was done in that camp sort of fun B grade way that it had me going. Yeah. I could watch an edited version with some of those scenes edited out and just whatever. I wonder whether some people being disappointed by this movie critically and that sort of thing was because they were expecting it or hoping or whatever that it would be a
crime thriller.
Yeah, a Tarantino-esque crime thriller.
Yeah.
And they viewed it as a crime thriller that got fucked up by some vampires or whatever.
Yep.
I thought of it after this time that it's more. I took it as a vampire movie with extra depth and backstory that made me more invested in the characters.
Yeah, okay.
Like, it's not often you get any sort of horror where there's just going to be a bloodbath at the end, where you get such a good backstory and make
hour
you feel
long of
and it was really good. Like, all of those characters, everyone in that RV, when they're rolling down that driveway ominously towards what looks like a fucking Motley Crue film clip, right? You're like, you just know things are going to go bad. You know that there's some. First of all, you know that both the Gecko boys are badass. You also know Harvey Keitel is just not to be trifled with. Like, his character's just got that steeliness.
Yeah.
You know they can hold their own. But you know they're going literally to the gate of hell.
Yeah.
Right. So, I looked at it more as going sort of separate them and say, instead of being disappointed that it wasn't more of a crime thriller and that it got derailed by a gore fest, I looked at it more as a gore fest with this awesome backstory to get me more invested into it. So that perspective flipped a lot of it for me. So I think I enjoyed it a lot more based on that. Performances, great bloody performances. You could pick. There's a few people in there. What's his name? The big
the big black dude.
Keith Williamson. Or something like that.
The old ex-NFL player.
Yeah.
Like, he's not great.
Nah.
He's in there because he's in a lot of black exploitation films, and he's one of Tarantino and Rodriguez's childhood heroes.
Yeah.
Sex Machine is actually a makeup artist by trade. He's not an actor.
Right,
So
okay.
he was in there because he was a makeup artist in like the gory films. So they're just pulling guys. So that's why you can tell their performances aren't great. If they were minimized a little bit and replaced with better actors, it would have gone even better.
Yeah.
But I think I got it a bit more this time.
Okay, so sorry, what if the second half of the movie, and there's probably more for Duff, what if the second half of the movie, it was vampires, but it wasn't done B-movie, campy, shitty makeup, bad CGI? What if it was done like vampires from Blade or Daybreakers?
Yeah.
What if it was that, and it was like fucking real, like it felt tense instead of funny? And
if you don't have the putty faces and actual proper
like proper CGI, it all looks good.
Before we answer,
it's Stephen Dorff and the vampires.
Just real
from
quick
Blade.
though, before I make a ruling and allow Duff to answer, Salma Hayek still in it?
Yes, of course.
I need to know that.
I'm not a fucking idiot. She has longer in it.
As long as it's not in a bar, maybe they're being hunted on the roads at night or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But switches through the middle of the film. It just switches to vampires still, but the vampires aren't
that.
B grade. Yeah.
To get to El Rey, they've got to go through that.
So your
I
problem
talked about
is,
it last week.
Yeah.
I didn't like I didn't like the second half. I
Yeah,
didn't like the vampires.
no, your problem is the fact that the vampires were, camp's a good word, or B-movie or whatever.
I just
like,
think,
it just looks, they look like shit.
I just think I didn't like it.
Okay, so it's the whole concept of the supernatural part.
The supernatural bit, I didn't like it.
Yeah, right.
No, but that's what I'm saying. What if the vampires were like vampires from a quality vampire film, like Blade or whatever?
I'd like to watch what Quentin Tarantino can do with serious vampires.
Yes, that's what I'm getting
That's the
at.
only reason.
Okay.
What they did with the vampires in this was shit ass. I didn't like the
Oh,
whole
it's different,
second half. Yeah. I understand why they did it. I understand it's a B grade, but for me, it's just not me. Yeah.
No, that's fine. You misunderstood my question. Carry on, Peter.
So I really...
So fucking rude.
It's getting tense in here. So I... Predator handshake. I also fully actually respect the balls it took and the balls to make to do something so different.
So brave.
They knew that this was going to ostracize a certain amount of the audience for so many reasons. The gore alone, and then just the huge juxtaposition between the beginning and the end, and like it's jarring at first, and then after a couple of minutes, you've forgotten about the whole road trip movie at the beginning where they were just blowing shit up, and I have anyway. Like, I'm invested in this new vampire world. And it was unique at the time. I know they did something similar and probably a little bit better executed later on down the track with the two separate features.
Grindhouse.
But in terms of a mashup, I think it was unique, and I think that's what threw a lot of people off, and I think it still is unique.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
And I think there's not a lot you can say about something you saw in the 90s and you thought, this is fucking different.
Yeah.
And then you watch again in whatever year it is now, and you're like, this is still really different.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of reference points exactly for it. So amazing cast. Two of the most respected and influential movie makers of our time together. It's a borderline classic for those reasons alone.
Yeah.
And I'm going to give it 78.
Cool. Bang.
Nice.
Yeah, really
Huge.
redeeming.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, really enjoyed it again.
It's a big old redeem.
Yeah. So 2 redeeming, 1 nailing to the cross, if my maths is correct.
Yeah.
Before we go into the outro, you just made me think of something.
Yeah, go on.
Can you name another movie like this where it's one thing and then just like sharply turns a corner and it's another thing?
Not sharply, but Red State's kind of like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's like
that
country and then it goes into the whole Waco thing. So I think Red State's like that.
Yeah. That's good. I've referenced it before on the podcast, but maybe Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah, big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Goes from a slasher to a fucking
Can you think of
sci-fi
anything
slasher.
else?
No.
It's hard off the top of your head.
Not
You
like
have to
this.
go down to
Starship
Google.
Troopers. Actually, Full Metal Jacket.
Yeah. That's one.
And the other one that just sprung into my mind at complete random. Have you seen Dead Presidents?
Yes.
Yes, I have.
That could be 2 different movies. There's the whole war side of things, and then they get back, and it changes in tone and tenor and everything all the way through. Yeah,
But nothing as dramatic as this.
No, and nothing that changes its entire tone like this.
No,
Yeah.
a whole different universe is brought in.
Yeah.
It feels like it's made by 2 different directors that went on the same page.
I, for a long time, believed that the first half was written and directed by Tarantino and the second half was written and directed by Rodriguez. It was only a few years ago I discovered that.
You could have told me that without me Googling it. I would have gone, of course.
before
It's
the internet.
2 different fucking things. Yeah.
Anyway,
Anyway,
we believed a lot of things before.
78, 70, and would you give it 21?
45.
45 was it?
90.
Sorry,
is what
I'm just so negative lately. I just assumed you were.
fucking real dead
It's
hope.
weird that I've like...
You hate film now.
I
That's
love
fine.
film,
Nah,
and
it's
all of a
fine.
sudden I'm watching this and going, I'm not enjoying it.
So tune in for next week. For Kenny and BJ's The Redeemables with special guests.
Is this how he finds out? So, before we wrap things up, we always like to give a shout out to our social media followers.
Yeah,
We got a new top fan amongst the ranks.
Wow.
Welcome, and flex that top fan badge with pride to Quentin Camperman.
good. How fucking it's Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah,
week, Quentin
it's
Camperman. This is
serendipity.
good.
There
And
you go.
and you got Quentin right as well.
I did.
So
And they travel in an RV, and his second name is Campervan.
Right.
that's good. Such a camper man, but yeah, that's good.
wow.
Very
So,
good. It all ties in together.
thanks to him and thanks to the algorithm for...
What's he been doing? Has he been commenting?
So
and
when you
liking
comment and shit, I'm not quite sure because some of our more frequent interactions have not been bestowed the badge yet. I'm sorry, it is within. We don't have any power over this, so we don't have any say in it whatsoever. So we can't control the algorithm. So we would hand out top fans to all of you if we could, but
I wouldn't.
no,
I
I'm
wouldn't.
lying.
Yeah.
You got to earn that shit.
Gotta earn your stripes.
It's not a bloody participate. It's literally a participation certificate.
Speaking of participation, the email's up.
Yes.
So check the bio on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram, and you'll see the email address. It's theredeemablespod@gmail.com. Send in your thoughts on the podcast that you've just listened to after you listen to it. Send in anything you want, really.
Yeah.
Random shit we fucked up. I'd love to hear stuff we fucked up. Like when we go, oh, that's the movie with this or whatever. Or
We're not above being told that we're wrong. We know
Please
we're wrong.
Tell me I'm wrong via email,
Yeah.
and if it's good, then we'll definitely read some of those out.
I've got some thoughts. I'm going to send a fucking email.
Yeah. if you are going to send corrections, like use some emojis or something that don't hurt our feelings as much.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Because we're pretty sensitive.
Yeah, big time sensitive.
But yeah, send it on through. We'd love some emails
Yeah,
that we
love to
can
hear
read
from
out.
y'all.
We're
Yeah.
going to start a little segment at the end of each episode we're going to do if we
Yeah.
get some mail.
Yeah. So please send them in.
All right. Fuck that. What's the next movie, Ken?
Well, I'm going to bring it a little bit more modern. You guys are dwelling in the 90s for too damn long.
summer days.
Sorry, 80s and 90s we've been doing the last 3 weeks. I think we did 87, 95, and 96.
Yeah.
maybe.
That wasn't our fucking fault. That was the people's
The people
fault.
chose
man.
that, yeah.
The people chose the movie.
So I'm gonna-
Sorry, I'm getting. It should have been Anaconda.
Yeah, it should have definitely been. I'm going to bring, or Into the Blue. I'm going to bring it forward to the within the last 10 years, which is nice to change it up.
That's weird.
Haven't seen it.
I've been busy for the last decade. The main star is going to feature on this pod more than once, but this is the one that I want to do first.
Finally, she's the man.
Which is Olympus Has Fallen from 2013 with Gerard Butler.
Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum.
Yes.
Fucking looking forward to it.
Yes.
Bear with me 2 secs, and I can tell you
Aaron Eckhart, mate.
Had to
He's
look it
back.
up.
Yes.
My mate Aaron Eckhart is back.
Are you going to apologise formally to Aaron Eckhart?
the
now?
No, he's still a fucking cardboard cutout in this.
Shivers. Got shivers.
Luckily,
Look at
luckily
the
Gerard
goosebumps,
Butler
Ken.
can carry it.
Ah,
Olympus Has Fallen. Netflix, baby.
Netflix. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Everyone's got that,
Yeah,
don't
finally.
they?
Yeah, if you don't use someone's account.
So yeah, Olympus Has Fallen on Netflix. Check it out. We'll be doing that one next week.
Thanks everyone for listening. We're out.
That's it.
Bye,
That's all we got.
motherfuckers.
It's been the Redeemables.
God damn with a brush.
And now, for your viewing pleasure, the mistress of the macabre, the epitome of evil, the most sinister woman to ever dance on the face of this earth. Fight this! Lonely dog, bow your head. Kneel and worship at the feet of Santanico Pandemonium!
Strolling in the night, so white, wondering why it's only after dark. In her eyes, a distant firelight burns bright, wondering why it's only after dark. Find myself in the mood, feel the fever of my doom, falling through the floor. Knocking on the devil's door, yeah.
So that, I mean, those two.
Sorry, give me a minute.
Oh Jesus! Where a mask you come?
So we're in this room for 14 days now.
Oh, fucking hell.
What a twist that would be. None of us wore masks. Cool. You're now in there together.